Chapter 923. As soon as Pei Zhe finished speaking, the young man's expression changed immediately, and he said in disbelief, "Second Master, you saw that demoness?" "Yes," Pei Zhe replied calmly. However, the young man was a little puzzled. "Second Master, the demoness has never shown her true appearance. Have you seen her in person?" The demoness was extremely mysterious. Not to mention them, even in the headquarters of the Hunters Guild, there seemed to be very few people who knew her true appearance. Moreover, no one even knew what level the demoness had evolved to. The Hunters Guild and the demoness faction were like fire and water. For many years, the Hunters Guild's main goal had been to destroy the demoness. However, they had never even seen the demoness' face. Furthermore, every time they fought against the demoness faction, they suffered heavy losses. Many of the ridiculously powerful A-class evolved beings of the Hunters Guild had died in the hands of the demoness faction. The young man hadn't expected Second Master to have seen the demoness' face. "I just met her by chance," Pei Zhe said casually. That's strange. Didn't the demoness go missing? Rumor has it that she's dead. All these years, the demoness forces have not been as active as before. This makes people believe that she's dead. But why did Second Master see her at Cloud Manor? The young man asked with a puzzled expression. "That's not all. She appeared as my cousin's girlfriend." Pei Zhe couldn't understand either. How could that happen? The young man said in surprise. "What's going on?" Pei Zhe fell into deep thought. "Second Master, are you sure that the Miss Lin you mentioned just now is the demoness herself?" The young man asked. Pei Zhe wasn't sure about this either. The only thing Pei Zhe could be sure of was that Lin Yan and the demoness looked very similar. They were almost exactly the same, but their words and actions were very different. Pei Zhe could be sure that Lin Yan and the demoness were the same person based on their appearance. However, based on their words and actions, they were completely different people. Hence, Pei Zhe still couldn't be sure if the two of them were the same person. "Second Master, should we find an opportunity to ask?" The young man asked. A moment later, Pei Zhe shook his head. "Absolutely not. If the demoness had appeared in the Pei family as Pei Yuqing's girlfriend, there was a high possibility that she was plotting something. If he asked her now and she was really the demoness, he would be in trouble. Right now, I'm just worried if he wants to attack my cousin." A hint of worry appeared in Pei Zhe's eyes. The young man looked at Pei Zhe and fell into deep thought. After following Pei Zhe for many years, the young man knew Pei Zhe and his past very well. Back then, Pei Zhe hadn't been valued in the Pei family. At that time, the younger generation of the Pei family had been like a group of dazzling stars. On the other hand, Pei Zhe had been lackluster. In the Pei family, which had almost no familial ties, only Pei Yuqing had treated him as a brother. During the conversation with the demoness faction, almost everyone who was a threat to Pei Zhe had been on the demoness list. Pei Yuqing was the only one who had never appeared on the list. The young man knew how much Pei Zhe loved Pei Yuqing. Chapter 924. "Second Master, I don't think that's the case." The young man replied, "If that demoness really wanted to attack Pei Yuqing, I'm afraid she wouldn't have to go through so much trouble. She wouldn't have to change her appearance to get close to Pei Yuqing and even become his girlfriend. Although Pei Yuqing's evolution level is extremely high, she wouldn't have to do this if she really wanted to get rid of him," the young man analyzed. "Don't tell me I don't know." Pei Zhe glanced at the young man. The young man hurriedly said, "Second Master, I spoke too much." Pei Zhe fell into deep thought again. Naturally, he had his reasons to be worried. Pei Yuqing had kept a low profile for many years. He hadn't done anything else in Cloud Manor, nor had he offended the demoness power. Logically speaking, the demoness wouldn't attack Pei Yuqing for no reason. Besides, Pei Yuqing wasn't on his elimination list. Even if Pei Yuqing was on his elimination list, Pei Zhe didn't believe that the demoness would personally attack him because of such a small matter. The demoness wouldn't care about the entire Pei family, let alone Pei Yuqing. In that case, there were only three possibilities based on Pei Zhe's analysis. Firstly, Lin Yan was Lin Yan, and the demoness was the demoness. They weren't the same person at all. Secondly, Lin Yan was indeed the demoness, but she had fallen in love with Pei Yuqing. No matter who the demoness was or how powerful she was still a woman. It wasn't strange for her to meet someone she loved. Pei Zhe could accept the first 2 points, which made him heave a sigh of relief. However, the third point made Pei Zhe's body shiver at the thought of it. It was also the point that Pei Zhe didn't want to become a reality. Pei Zhe and Pei Yuqing had been close since they were young, so he knew a lot about Pei Yuqing. This included the mysterious sacred ground. Pei Yuqing had never told anyone that he had become the disciple of the master of the sacred ground. According to Pei Yuqing, the so-called sacred ground was the sacred ground of evolved beings. It was the origin of the evolved beings order. There were powerful evolved beings in this world. The reason why it could maintain peace and order was entirely because of the existence of the sacred ground and the rules set by it. Pei Yuqing had been fortunate enough to study in a holy land when he was young. He had even become the disciple of the Holy Land's leader. No one else in the Pei family knew about this except for him. Pei Zhe was only afraid that the demoness knew about this, so she had concealed her identity and become Pei Yuqing's girlfriend. Her goal was to get close to the Holy Land and even the most powerful leader of the Holy Land in history. However, Pei Zhe still had doubts. Although the demoness and her forces were powerful enough, how could they fight against the Holy Lands? Especially the leader of the Holy Land, who was rumored to be the strongest evolver in the world. Pei Zhe, on the other hand, believed that the demoness and her forces would be easily destroyed if they went against the Holy Land head-on. That was why the demoness knew that Pei Yuqing was the disciple of the leader of the Holy Land. That was why she had approached Pei Yuqing. Perhaps she wanted to use this identity to make the Holy Land lower its guard while she hatched a bigger scheme. Once the Holy Land disappeared, this world would be completely overturned. On the surface, even if the Hunters Guild maintained order, it was far from enough. Without the deterrence of the sacred land, even Pei Zhe could not imagine what this world would become. Second Master, what do you plan to do? The young man's gaze landed on Pei Zhe. Chapter 925. Let's wait and see, Pei Zhe replied calmly. Regardless of whether Lin Yan was a demoness or if she had any ulterior motives for the sacred ground, he had to investigate. Actually, Pei Zhe didn't care about the sacred ground or what would happen to the world. However, he had to protect Pei Yuqing. If Lin Yan was really that demoness, he couldn't let anything happen to Pei Yuqing. Of course, the premise was that he couldn't offend the demoness. Otherwise, he would be consigned to eternal damnation. Second Master, should we communicate with Pei Yuqing? If Miss Lin is a demoness and Second Master doesn't know about it, I'm afraid there will be a huge mess, the young man said with a frown. Pei Zhe shook his head and said, there's no need to make it public. Just wait and see. How could Pei Zhe not see Pei Yuqing's feelings for Lin Yan at Cloud Manor today? If he told Pei Yuqing the truth, he was afraid that it would backfire. Pei Yuqing would definitely not believe him and might even think that he was helping Tang Rong cause trouble. Cousin, take care. The inheritance of the Pei family. In the end, you will be the only one who can compete with me, Pei Zhe muttered. At Cloud Manor, she could vaguely hear the snoring of a cat in the room. On the bed, Lin Yan's pajamas were drenched. In her sleep, Lin Yan's brows were tightly furrowed, as though she was in extreme pain. The scene in the dream made Lin Yan even more terrified. She felt as though she was flying in the air, but she also felt as though she was trapped in the deep sea. She seemed to see smiling faces that completely turned into fear and despair. Soon, a faint halo appeared and surrounded Lin Yan. In an instant, all the painful scenes shattered like a mirror, leaving behind only beauty. Lin Yan opened her eyes a moment later. She looked at the time. It was early in the morning. Lin Yan sat up and drank a mouthful of water, looking puzzled. She seemed to have had an incredible dream, but she couldn't remember it. For some reason, the first person she wanted to see when she woke up was Pei Yuqing. She didn't know if Pei Yuqing was asleep. Lin Yan changed her clothes and walked to the bedroom. When she reached the study, Lin Yan realized that Pei Nanshu and Pei Yutong were there as well. You're not asleep yet. Pei Yuqing spoke softly when he saw Lin Yan. I'm awake. Lin Yan grinned. You're awake? Pei Yutong glanced at Lin Yan in surprise. Sister Yan, what's wrong with you? Are you a nocturnal sleeper? Why aren't the two of you resting? Lin Yan was puzzled. Why are you disturbing your brother so late at night? Pei Yutong and Pei Nanshu were rendered speechless by Lin Yan's protective stance. Pei Yuqing stroked the girl's hair. It's okay. I couldn't sleep anyway. Lin Yan blinked, looking worried. Can't sleep? What's wrong? Insomnia? Should we call the doctor over? Pei Yuqing chuckled but didn't say anything. He merely watched her quietly. Lin Yan suddenly realized that he couldn't sleep because she had admitted that she liked him. Pei Yutong, who didn't understand, exclaimed excitedly, Sister Yan, how can you fall asleep? After learning that the Pei family was an evolved being and that Pei Yuqing was an evolved being, Pei Yutong and Pei Nanshu naturally wanted to know more. Although they weren't evolved beings and had been exiled to Cloud Manor since they were young, they were still members of the Pei family. This couldn't be changed. Big brother, tell second brother and me. What are your evolved beings' abilities? Big brother, can you fly? Do you know how to burrow underground? Pei Yutong stared at Pei Yuqing excitedly. Pei Yuqing was speechless. Lin Yen glanced at Pei Yutong. Indeed, this husky couldn't run away. No, replied Pei Yuqing. Ah, you don't know how to do that? I wanted Big Brother to take me flying in the sky. Pei Yutong sighed, looking disappointed. Pei Nanshu pondered this for a moment before he glanced at Pei Yuqing. Big Brother, do you know how to turn invisible? No, replied Pei Yuqing. Pei Nanshu was speechless. Chapter 926. Big Brother, you're an evolved being after all. Why don't you know this and that? What do you know? At least have a superpower. Pei Yutong quipped. I'll break your legs, Pei Yuqing replied calmly. Pei Yutong was speechless. Big Brother, I was wrong. Big Brother, don't. You can't do anything to me who isn't an evolved being. Big Brother, do you have to maintain world peace? Pei Yutong pressed on. Pei Yuqing was speechless. Even Lin Yen couldn't take it anymore. Big Brother, can you smash a mountain with one punch? Pei Nanshu asked solemnly. Lin Yen was speechless. What was wrong with these two brothers today? It was one thing for Pei Yutong, but why was his idol, Pei Nanshu, asking such strange questions? That's enough, both of you. Have you watched too many movies? Why are you asking such strange questions? Lin Yen couldn't help but speak up. Sister Yen, that's true. She's an evolved being. Superpower. Isn't it normal to be able to fly, burrow into the ground, and turn invisible? Can't I do that? Pei Yutong pursed his lips. Cut the crap. Lin Yen sighed heavily as she glanced at Pei Nanshu and Pei Yutong helplessly. Then she turned to Pei Yuqing and said sternly, Mr. Pei, can you turn stone into gold? I mean, place your finger on a stone and turn it into gold, jade, diamond, or something like that. Pei Nanshu and Pei Yutong were dumbfounded when they heard Lin Yen. Who was the one who had asked such a strange question? Wasn't she the one? Turning stones into gold, diamonds, and jadeite? That was pure greed. Sure. However, Pei Yutong and Pei Nanshu had never expected Pei Yuqing to say that he could. Ah, Lin Yen was startled. She had just said it casually. As long as you want it, you can do it. Pei Yuqing grinned at Lin Yen. Lin Yen understood what Pei Yuqing meant instantly. Given his wealth, he could even make ambergris, let alone gold, diamonds, and jade. Of course, it wasn't because Pei Yuqing had this ability. It was just because he was rich. Pei Yutong fell into deep thought as he ran out of the study. About 10 seconds later, he carried a huge rock into the room and placed it gently on the desk. What are you doing? Lin Yen looked puzzled. Pei Yutong grinned at Pei Yuqing. Big Brother, come on. I want gold. Treat it as my pocket money this month. What do you think? Pei Yuqing studied Pei Yutong as though he was looking at a retard. Mr. Pei, I have a question for you, Lin Yen said after some time. What is it? Pei Yuqing asked. I just want to ask if Pei Yutong is your biological son. Is he really the same as you? Lin Yen was increasingly suspicious. She could believe that Pei Nanshu was Pei Yuqing's biological brother, but Pei Yutong didn't seem to be Pei Yuqing's biological brother. Sister Yen, what do you mean? Why can't I be your biological son? I'm definitely your biological son. Pei Yutong was indignant as he replied, Isn't that right, Big Brother? I don't know, Pei Yuqing replied calmly. Pei Yutong was speechless. At that moment, Pei Yutong felt like dying. He was so outstanding, so how could he not be his biological son? He felt that he only had one flaw. Other than the fact that he wasn't an evolved being, he was almost perfect. His IQ and EQ were similar to his big brother's. Of course, he was also good-looking. End of this chapter. Chapter 927. Is big sister-in-law an evolved being too? Pei Nanshu glanced at Lin Yen. Yeah, Lin Yen admitted. Impressive? Pei Nanshu was deep in thought. Sister Yen, you can't do it. You're too lousy. Pei Yutong quipped. When she had been at Lin Yan's company, Pei Yutong had seen her being beaten up by two crazy old men and her boss. She had been beaten up everywhere she went, and she had swallowed her anger. She had been an evolved being, and that had been a grievance. Lousy? Pei Nanshu glanced at Pei Yutong in confusion. You've seen it before? Pei Yutong nodded eagerly. Yes, yes, yes. Initially, Pei Yutong had wanted to tell her about what had happened. However, on second thought, he realized that it wouldn't be appropriate. Hence, he corrected himself. I knew that Sister Yen is an evolved being. We even sparred before. So, that's all. It's ordinary and unpresentable. Lin Yen glared at Pei Yutong. I feel like you're provoking me. Pei Yutong quipped. Sister Yen, I'm not. I'm just stating a fact. You don't know anything and only know how to use your fists. You're a rookie. If I'm the shame of the racing world, then you're the weirdo of the evolved world. Do you believe that I can kill you with one punch? Lin Yin glared at Pei Yutong and hissed fiercely. Don't think that I won't dare to beat you up just because you're my son. There was a saying that went, it's the father's fault if he doesn't teach his son well. Big brother, look at Sister Yen. She wants to beat your beloved brother, but you're not going to do anything about it. Can you watch as your brother is threatened and beaten to death? Pei Yutong glanced at Pei Yuqing aggrieved. Lin Yin was speechless. Indeed, the child had grown up and his wings had hardened. Now he even dared to complain to his big brother. The husband follows the wife, Pei Yuqing replied calmly. Huh? Pei Yutong, who was taken aback by Pei Yuqing's words, asked in confusion, the husband follows the wife? What does that mean? Pei Nanshu pondered this for a moment before he replied, it means that big brother and big sister-in-law will beat you up. Pei Yutong, ha ha ha. I was just joking. Why are you so serious? A gentleman doesn't use his mouth. No, a gentleman uses his mouth, not his fists, replied Pei Yutong. Big brother, big sister-in-law, it's late. Rest early. Yutong and I will make a move first. Pei Nanshu glanced at Pei Yuqing and Lin Yin. Okay, Pei Yuqing replied. Leave? Pei Yutong froze. Why are you leaving? If you want to leave, second brother, you can leave. I'm not leaving. I want to see big brother's superpowers. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. Don't look for me when you get beaten to death. Pei Nanshu turned to leave. Second brother, you're afraid of the dark. Forget it. I'll go with you. Pei Yutong hurriedly chased after him. I'm not afraid of the dark, replied Pei Nanshu calmly. No, you're afraid. After Pei Nanshu and Pei Yutong left, Lin Yin turned to Pei Yuqing. I'm hungry. Pei Yuqing chuckled softly. What do you want to eat? I'll make it for you. Lin Yin blurted out, have you forgotten what you promised me? Pei Yuqing was speechless. Oh yeah, Pei Yutong and Pei Nanshu came to see your superpowers? Lin Yin was curious. Even she didn't know what kind of superpowers Pei Yuqing had. End of this chapter. Chapter 928. The two of them want to go to the Pei family with me, replied Pei Yuqing. Will you guys come with me? Asked Lin Yin. Pei Yuqing shook his head. I didn't agree. Lin Yin was puzzled. Weren't Pei Nanshu and Pei Yutong part of the Pei family? Even if they couldn't evolve, couldn't they enter the Pei family? Was the family of evolved beings so cold and heartless? No matter what, they were all descendants of the younger generation whose blood was thicker than water. Pei Yuqing, who noticed Lin Yan's expression, said softly, what you're thinking is that the evolved beings are cold and heartless. Lin Yin raised her head to look at Pei Yuqing. Could it be that his evolved ability was mind-reading? She could even tell what he was thinking. Was her behavior that obvious? Of course, since Pei Yuqing had smelled it, Lin Yin replied bluntly, that's what I think. Don't evolved beings have any kinship? No. Pei Yuqing put down the document in his hand and stared at Lin Yin. It's because of kinship. Because of kinship? Lin Yin was even more puzzled when she heard Pei Yuqing. Was it because of kinship that they chased away non-evolved beings? It's very dangerous in evolved beings' clans because of the inheritance. Non-evolved beings don't have to get involved and suffer, Pei Yuqing explained to Lin Yin. Is that so? Lin Yin fell into deep thought. Secondly, the external dangers are even more fatal. When the two races fight, non-evolved beings are in a more dangerous situation. Therefore, almost all evolved beings will send their non-evolved descendants away to ensure that they don't have to worry about food and clothing for the rest of their lives, Pei Yuqing explained. Lin Yin fell into deep thought. According to Pei Yuqing's explanation, that seemed to be the case. For an evolved being, there should indeed be risks that ordinary people couldn't see. If they sent away non-evolved beings who didn't have the ability to protect themselves and ensured that they didn't have to worry about food and clothing, it would actually be a good thing. From the looks of it, she had misunderstood the evolved beings' families. That's why I don't want Yutong and the others to interact too much with the Pei family. The more they interact with the Pei family, the more danger they might encounter. I can't be by their side all the time to protect them. The same goes for my father, Pei Yuqing replied. Okay, I understand. But if you want to go back this time, you have to be careful. Lin Yin glanced at him worriedly. Pei Yuqing had mentioned that the Pei family had been embroiled in internal strife because of the inheritance. It sounded very dangerous. It's fine. Who would care about an exiled junior? Pei Yuqing chuckled softly. Lin Yin was speechless. At the mention of being exiled, Lin Yin recalled what Tang Rong had said. No matter what Pei Yuqing said, she still felt a little uncomfortable. The next morning, Pei Zhe arrived at Cloud Manor. After staying for a while, he left with Pei Yuqing and headed to the Pei family. Pei Zhe didn't explain why the Pei family had asked Pei Yuqing to return. Perhaps even Pei Zhe himself didn't know. After he left, Lin Yin headed to the office. Halfway through the car, Lin Yin spotted two familiar faces. F***C. Are they haunting me? Chapter 929. Lin Yin looked at the rearview mirror and realized that there was a motorcycle behind her. The car hadn't changed its direction at all. There were two people on the motorcycle. Although they were wearing sunglasses and helmets, Lin Yin could recognize them at a glance. They were Zhang San and Li Si, the strange brothers. Lin Yin felt a little helpless when it came to these two people. They were like plasters that she couldn't shake off no matter how hard she tried. Lin Yin turned the steering wheel casually and steered the car sideways. She stopped the motorcycle in the middle of the road and blocked its path. After the motorcycle was forced to stop, Lin Yin opened the door and alighted. Lin Yin glanced at Zhang San and Li Si who were on the motorcycle. She frowned and said impatiently, "Zhang San, Li Si, what are you trying to do?" The two of them were startled when they heard Lin Yin. Li Si sneered coldly. "You are a beauty, but why did you become a thief?" How sad." Lin Yin was speechless. What was this fool talking about? "Li Si, what does that mean?" Zhang San glanced at Li Si curiously. "Zhang San, you've asked the right person. Let me tell you, it means that you are so good-looking. Why do you want to be a bad person?" "How sad." Li Si grinned. Zhang San immediately gave him a thumbs up. "Not bad. I didn't expect my brother to be so cultured." "Cultured?" Li Si couldn't help but sneer. "I'm a great writer." Lin Yin couldn't help but sigh as she watched Zhang San and Li Si perform a one-man show. If they were all great writers, wouldn't she be the goddess of knowledge? "If there's nothing else, I'll leave first," replied Lin Yin. "Don't be rude. How dare you ignore us?" Zhang San glared at Lin Yin and bellowed angrily. Lin Yin was speechless. Who was ignoring whom? These two brothers were clearly ignoring her, but now she was the one ignoring them. Lin Yin had met shameless people before, such as Pei Yutong and He Lufeng. However, compared to Zhang San and Li Si, they were far inferior. "Tell me, why have you pestered me so many times?" Lin Yin glared at them. "Cut the crap. Wait a minute, do you have any helpers in the car? Is Third Firmament still there?" Zhang San peered at Lin Yan's car warily. "No, I'm alone," replied Lin Yin. Hearing this, Zhang San nodded. "It's good that he's not here. Then we can rest assured." "Are you afraid of Xiao Yao?" asked Lin Yin with a faint smile. "Ha ha ha." The two brothers burst into laughter as though they had just heard a hilarious joke. After laughing for a while, Zhang San said, "Ignorant junior, why would we be afraid of the Third Firmament? Why would he be afraid of Xiao Yao? Who do they think they are? We just don't want to fight with young people. When the time comes, people will say that we're taking advantage of our seniority." Li Si glanced at Zhang San, **T. Do you have any culture? That's called being old and despicable." Lin Yin was speechless. That old thing was detestable. He was really cultured. He was indeed a great writer. Shouldn't they be bullying the weak? Lin Yin sighed heavily. Yes. Li Si nodded repeatedly. "You're right. That's what I meant just now. We don't want to bully the weak with numbers. It goes against our principles." Chapter 930. Big brother, am I right? Li Si glanced at Zhang San. "Yes, you're absolutely right." Zhang San nodded and said, "We are cultured men who have received a high-quality education. We will never bully the weak or use numbers to bully the few. This goes against the righteous path in our hearts." Lin Yin studied the two brothers thoughtfully and sneered coldly. "What are the two of you doing now?" "What are we doing?" Li Si pursed his lips. "Of course, we want to take you away and let you face justice. Didn't you just say that you don't want to bully the weak? Why are you changing your mind now?" Lin Yin sneered coldly. Zhang San and Li Si were taken aback when they heard Lin Yin. Then they exchanged a glance. "Big brother. What she said seems to make sense," Li Si said with a frown. "Pa, how did we bully the few with numbers?" Zhang San was unconvinced. "In terms of age, the two of you are much older than me. In terms of experience, both of you are seniors. In terms of numbers, aren't the two of you bullying me?" Lin Yin replied calmly. "Big brother, what she said makes sense." Li Si said. Makes sense. Can't you say something else? Makes sense?" Zhang San retorted. "Big brother, I'm not trying to criticize you, but you're being unreasonable. You're being too disrespectful. As the saying goes, you can walk the world if you're reasonable. If you're unreasonable, you won't be able to move an inch. You can't be unreasonable and resort to sophistry, Li Si said. Senior Li Si is right. I think that Senior Li Si's thinking is much higher than Senior Zhang San's. Senior Li Si should be the elder brother. Lin Yan smiled at Li Si. Li Si perked up when he heard Lin Yan. He hurriedly said, yes, you're right. Right. Can't you see that she's playing with us? Zhang San glanced at Li Si. Zhang San, don't you have any shame? I think what this lady said makes sense. I have a higher level of thought than you and I have more sense of justice than you. I should be the elder brother and you are the younger brother. Li Si said. I can't be bothered to talk to you. Zhang San glanced at Lin Yan. Alright, in that case we won't join forces. You can choose one as your opponent. As long as you win you can say whatever you want. Really? Lin Yan grinned. Duh, of course it's true. I, Zhang San, am a man of my word, 9 cauldrons more than a man of my word. Alright, I'll believe Senior Zhang San for now. I'll choose Senior Li Si as my opponent. Lin Yan's gaze landed on Li Si. No matter how she looked at it, Li Si was more foolish than Zhang San. Haha, good choice. Young lady, you really have a good eye. Choosing me was the right choice. Li Si laughed. Before Lin Yan could reply, Li Si said, how about this? I'll let you make 3 moves to show my sincerity. No need. Lin Yan shook her head. In terms of evolved abilities, I know my limits. I'm inferior to Senior Li Si. I admit defeat. Lin Yan guessed that both of them were spiritually evolved beings, but their bodies were terrifyingly strong. They weren't as pure as the man who could control wild beasts. No matter what, she couldn't win. Chapter 931. In that case you admit defeat. Come with us. Li Si said. There's no hurry. We haven't competed yet. Lin Yan smiled. Didn't you admit defeat? Li Si was puzzled. Senior Li Si, you're using your expertise against my expertise. Isn't that an unfair victory? Isn't that against your principles? Bullying a weak girl doesn't seem like something you would do, Lin Yan said. Yes, you're right. I definitely won't bully a woman. Alright, tell me, how do we compete? Li Si nodded repeatedly. Let's not compete with evolved beings' abilities. Let's compete with other things. How about that? Lin Yan said. Compete with other things? Li Si was slightly taken aback. Compete with what? Let's compete, to see who's younger? Lin Yan asked tentatively. Sure. We'll compete however you want. I won't lose to you. Li Si said. Are you AF * king fool? Zhang San looked at Li Si in shock and disbelief. Who are you calling a fool? Say that again. Li Si was instantly enraged. Senior Zhang San, this is a competition between me and Senior Li Si. It has nothing to do with you, Lin Yan said. Yes, what does it have to do with an old thing like you? You don't respect yourself and don't want to be on the same team as you. Li Si's face was full of disdain. Zhang San was speechless. Senior Li Si, how old are you this year? Lin Yan smiled at Li Si. What do you mean? Li Si was puzzled. How old are you this year? Lin Yan asked. I'm 58. Li Si looked proud. Oh, I'm 18. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth curled up slightly. So what? Li Si was puzzled. I won, Lin Yan said. Li Si was stunned when he heard Lin Yan. How did you win? Senior Li Si, didn't we just talk about who's younger? Lin Yan smiled. That's right. Li Si nodded. Then you're 64 and I'm 18. Did I win? Lin Yan smiled. It seems like that. Li Si frowned and muttered, but you don't look 18. You're not that young. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched. Even if I'm not 18, I'm still younger than you. I'll still win. Humph, I didn't expect that I, Li Si, who had dominated the world for my entire life, would actually lose to a girl like you today. Fine, I'm willing to accept my loss. Consider yourself formidable. I'm impressed, said Li Si. Lin Yan was speechless. This person might be a good person, but this mentally handicapped person was a little indecent. What's the point of winning against a fool? Is that all you've got? Zhang San glared at Lin Yan and gritted his teeth. Who are you calling a fool? Immediately, Li Si stepped forward and punched Zhang San's chest. Try saying that again. You're old and you can't afford to lose. If you lose, you lose. If you're willing to bet, you have to admit defeat. What excuses are you looking for? Scram. You're done. It's my turn. Zhang San couldn't be bothered with Li Si. His eyes landed on Lin Yan. I'm not stupid. In that case, let's compare our IQ. Lin Yan grinned. Compare our IQ? Hearing this, Zhang San laughed heartily. All right, then this old man will compete with you in terms of IQ today. I will let you know what it means to have great wisdom appear to be stupidity, to be outwardly foolish but inwardly wise, to have great skill appear to be clumsy, to be resourceful. Lin Yin glanced at Zhang San. How could he be so wise and foolish? He didn't seem wise and clever, but his stupidity was outstanding. Chapter 932. All right, please listen to the question. Lin Yin replied solemnly. Pa. A woman like you can't ascend to the top. Just bring it on. I'll let you see what it means to be beautiful on the outside and intelligent on the inside. Zhang San sneered. There's a $50 bill and a $100 bill on the ground. Which one would you pick up? Lin Yin stared at Zhang San intently. How is this a competition of intelligence? Are you insulting me? Zhang San flared up when he heard Lin Yan's question. He felt as though he had been offended. That's right. What kind of retarded question is this? You are looking down on my big brother's intelligence. Li Si echoed. Lin Yin was speechless. You don't have to care about my question. Just answer me. I'll admit defeat. What? Senior Zhang San can't afford to play? Lin Yin sneered coldly. I can't afford to play? What a joke, what a huge joke. I'll make you pay for your arrogance and ignorance today. Zhang San glared at Lin Yin. If there was a $50 or $100 bill on the ground, I would definitely pick it up. Big brother, you can't be too greedy. Pick up the 50. Li Si frowned. What 50? Pick up 100. Zhang San glanced at Li Si. I feel that the most important thing in life is to have a sense of justice. You can't be too greedy. Just pick up the 50. Li Si said after a moment of silence. Humph, you don't want to eat drumsticks tonight? If we pick up 100, it'll be enough for us to eat a good meal. If we pick up 50, it'll only be enough for me to eat a good meal. Do you think we should pick up 100 or 50? Tell me, I'll listen to you, Zhang San said. Li Si hesitated for a moment. Then, let's just pick up 100 and buy more drumsticks. Little girl, I'll pick up $100. What do you think? Zhang San sneered at Lin Yin. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth curled up. Senior Zhang San, are you sure you want to pick up 100 yuan? That's right, I'm sure I'll pick up 100. Only a fool would pick up 50. What kind of *T question is that? Is there anything more ruthless? Zhang San asked. Senior Zhang San, I think you're quite silly. Lin Yin grinned. What do you mean? Are you willing to bet but not willing to admit defeat? Zhang San's anger surged. Senior Zhang San, do you want to know which one I will pick up? Asked Lin Yin. Which one? Zhang San asked subconsciously. I will pick up all the 50 and 100 coins. Lin Yin suppressed her laughter. These two brothers were really silly. Both of them? Zhang San was dumbfounded when he heard Lin Yin. Not to mention Zhang San, even Li Si was a little surprised. Wait, you didn't say that I could pick them up. Zhang San frowned. I didn't say that I couldn't pick it up, replied Lin Yin. Zhang San, Li Si, it doesn't count, it doesn't count. You didn't explain the rules clearly. Come again if you have the ability. If I continue to lose, I will call you Grandma. Zhang San was so anxious that his face turned red. Lin Yin was afraid that she would push Zhang San too far. Thus she replied, sure. Today he would let these two brothers experience what it meant to be beaten by society. Please listen to the question. Replied Lin Yin. Come. Zhang San rolled up his sleeves. Question. A chicken and a goose were placed in the fridge at the same time. However, the chicken froze to death while the goose is still alive. May I know why? Asked Lin Yin. Zhang San's expression changed when he heard Lin Yan's question. The confidence on his face vanished like smoke in thin air. Chapter 933. The chicken is dead but the goose is still alive. What? Zhang San mumbled. Brother, could it be a zombie? Li Si glanced at Zhang San and asked softly. What zombies? Zombies my ass. Have you watched too many movies? Zombies? Zhang San rolled his eyes at Li Si. If it's not a zombie, why is the goose still alive when the chicken is frozen to death? Li Si was puzzled. Zhang San stared at Lin Yin. Master is soft-hearted and spared the goose's life. Lin Yin smiled and shook her head. Yeah, I knew it. How could Master be soft-hearted? Zhang San smiled awkwardly. The goose is more resistant to the cold than the chicken? Li Si was puzzled. Don't mess around, Zhang San said impatiently. Zhang San's eyes lit up as he stared at Lin Yin. I know. The goose is an evolved being. The goose has evolved so it won't freeze to death. Senior Zhang San, are you sure? Asked Lin Yin. I'm sure. Zhang San was confident. Then you're wrong. The goose isn't an evolved being. Lin Yin sighed, looking regretful. What did you say? It didn't evolve? What? Zhang San asked anxiously. Because it's a penguin. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth curled up. Penguin? Zhang San's expression darkened. Aren't you cheating? Why did the goose you mentioned become a penguin? Lin Yin stared at Zhang San in confusion. Senior Zhang San, isn't a penguin a goose? How can a penguin be a goose? The long-faced man shook his head. If a penguin isn't a goose, why is it called a penguin? Lin Yin grinned. That's because. Zhang San racked his brains for a long time, but he couldn't think of a reason. Right, why was a penguin called a goose? Wasn't that a trap? Why did it have to be called a penguin? Why couldn't it be called a duck? Is white wine wine? Lin Yin pressed. Yes. Zhang San's expression darkened. Is beer wine wine? Is cooking wine wine? Yes. Zhang San replied. Then why isn't a penguin a goose? Lin Yin pressed. That's not right. Let me ask you, where did the penguin go? Zhang San asked. What about my fridge? Lin Yin was puzzled. That's not right. The penguin is in the South Pole. Why would it be in your refrigerator? Zhang San said. Lin Yin was speechless. Indeed, the logic of a fool was very strange. I caught him, replied Lin Yin. Why are you catching penguins? I'm happy. I'm willing. I'm not just going to catch penguins. I'm also going to catch polar bears. What do you think? Can't I? Quipped Lin Yin. That's right, big brother. That's her business. She can catch whatever she wants, Li Si said immediately. Shut up. Zhang San rolled his eyes at Li Si and asked Lin Yin indignantly, the penguin is so big. How did you put it in the fridge? I have money. I want a custom-made fridge. Is that okay? Asked Lin Yin. What are you talking about? Even if you have money? Do you dare? Ask me again. Zhang San said anxiously. In that case, shouldn't Senior Zhang San fulfill his promise? Lin Yin grinned. Grandma. Zhang San gritted his teeth. Okay, good boy. Lin Yin nodded. Let me ask you again. What does 1 + 1 equal? What does 1 + 1 equal? Zhang San was taken aback. What kind of question was this? There had to be a trap. Big brother, 1 + 1 = 2. Even a fool knows that. Li Si added. Chapter 934. What do you know? Do you think I'm stupid? Let me tell you, it can't be that simple. There must be a trick. Zhang San shook his head. If it was really that simple, he wouldn't have gotten the previous 2 questions wrong. What does 1 + 1 equal? Zhang San racked his brains, but he couldn't figure it out. However, no matter what the answer was, Zhang San was certain that it wouldn't be 2. What does 1 + 1 equal? Zhang San rubbed his nose anxiously. Big brother, it's 2. If 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, what else can it be? Are you a fool? Li Si said anxiously. Get lost. What do you know? How can you compare to me with your intelligence? Zhang San sneered coldly and turned to Lin Yin. Do you think I'm my brother? Let me tell you, I'm talented and good-looking. I'm not that easy to fool. Zhang San's eyes lit up. He finally knew what 1 + 1 was. I understand now. Zhang San looked excited. I understand now. Ahaha. Little girl, do you think such a question can stump me? 1 + 1 = 10. Lin Yin stared at the excited Zhang San as though he was a fool. 1 horizontal and 1 vertical is exactly 10. 1 + 1 = 10. That's right. I'm sure. Zhang San answered resolutely. I'm sorry, Senior Zhang San. You're wrong. Lin Yin smiled slyly. The smile on Zhang San's face froze the moment Lin Yin spoke. Was he wrong again? How could he be wrong? Couldn't he be right just once? Impossible. It's definitely 10. If it's not 10, what is it? Zhang San bellowed. 1 + 1. Isn't it 2? Lin Yin was puzzled. Zhang San was dumbfounded when he heard Lin Yin. He almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Zhang San, you fool. I already said that 1 + 1 = 2. You're really a fool. How can you compare to me with your intelligence? I don't want to be associated with you. Li Si glared at Zhang San. That's not right. It shouldn't be like this. You're shameless. You're cheating. Zhang San roared at Lin Yin. Cheating? Lin Yin was puzzled. Senior, isn't 1 + 1 = 2? Zhang San, since 1 + 1 = 2, why did Senior Zhang San say that I cheated? Asked Lin Yin. Zhang San, why aren't you playing according to the rules? Zhang San was unable to restrain his anger, but there was nothing he could do. This little girl was too cunning. Okay, I won't. Lin Yin grinned. You. Zhang San was so angry that he said you 3 times. Senior Zhang San, is there a problem? Lin Yin was confused. Long Fangs gnashed his teeth in hatred, but there was nothing he could do. No problem. In that case I won this round. Lin Yin grinned. That won't do. Why are you the only one asking me? I have to ask you too. Only then will it be fair. Zhang San said. Lin Yin scanned Zhang San from head to toe. Not bad, he wasn't a complete fool. All right, Senior Zhang San. Lin Yin nodded. You have to answer my question within 5 seconds. Otherwise you lose. Zhang San said, what is the relationship between your father's younger sister's cousin's younger sister's nephew's uncle's father and you? Lin Yin was speechless. Ha ha ha. I don't believe that you can answer it. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2. Chapter 935. Lin Yin replied, we're relatives. Zhang San was dumbfounded when he heard Lin Yan's words. The victorious smile on his face froze. No one would do that. Zhang San stomped his foot angrily. He stomped his foot. What's wrong? We're relatives. There's nothing wrong with that, replied Lin Yin. That's right, big brother. We're relatives. Li Si nodded furiously. I'm done? Zhang San bellowed in exasperation. Since you're done, are you willing to admit defeat? Lin Yin glanced at Zhang San. Zhang San snorted coldly and glared at Lin Yin. What nonsense are you spouting? I, Zhang San, am a man of indomitable spirit. If I'm willing to gamble, I can afford to lose. No matter what tricks you used, I have nothing to say. Li Si sighed and shook his head. I only lost in age. My brother lost in intelligence. In that case, I lost in a better way. Senior Zhang San is indeed a real man. I admire you. Lin Yin cupped her fists. That's it. We'll let you off today. Zhang San turned around to leave. Hold on. Lin Yin suddenly stepped forward and blocked Zhang San's path. What else do you want? Zhang San glared at Lin Yin, looking displeased. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth curled up. Seniors, you can leave if you want, but I have some questions to ask you. Zhang San suddenly laughed. What a joke. I don't care what questions you have. Why should I answer your so-called questions? If you have questions, ask your teacher. What does this have to do with me? Oh? Lin Yin was surprised. Could it be that Senior Zhang San can't afford to lose? What do you mean? How can I not afford to lose? I'm leaving now. Zhang San bellowed. Lin Yin shook her head. Senior Zhang San, we've already made it clear. If you win, I won't object if you want to fight or kill me. However, if you lose, you have to do whatever I say. Have you forgotten? Zhang San blushed when he heard Lin Yin. What? Who can prove it? I don't remember saying that. Don't spout nonsense here. I have never said anything like that. Before Lin Yin could respond, Li Si, who was beside her, flared up. Zhang San, don't you care about your dignity? As the saying goes, a shameless tree is invincible, but a shameless man will die. Lin Yin was speechless. He had said it the other way around. You clearly said that as long as she wins, she will do whatever she says. You even said that you, Zhang San, are a man of your word. That's 9 cauldrons more than 9 cauldrons, said Li Si. Senior Zhang San, what do you think? Lin Yin grinned. Zhang San glared fiercely at Li Si, then immediately slapped his forehead. Oh, right, I suddenly remembered. I said, all right, ask away. All right, I would like to ask if you belong to the Hunters Guild, replied Lin Yin. That's right, replied Zhang San. I don't seem to have any feud with the Hunters Guild. Besides, the Hunters Guild's mission is to arrest evolved beings who cause trouble everywhere. I've never caused trouble, so there's nothing special about me. Why is the Hunters Guild targeting me? Zhang San glanced at Lin Yin. How would I know? I'm not sure. If you want to ask, go to the Hunters Guild. Chapter 936. I know. Li Si suddenly said, it's because of Si Bai. Si Bai? Lin Yin was puzzled. Who was Si Bai? Si Bai is a very strong evolver. He can control all kinds of beasts and even evolved beasts, Li Si explained. Lin Yin fell into deep thought. In that case, the mysterious man who had wanted her life and carried a macaw on his shoulder was the Si Bai that Li Si had mentioned. I think this might be a misunderstanding, replied Lin Yin. You can't tell us whether it's a misunderstanding or not. We didn't want to capture a little girl like you, but Si Bai said that you're a demoness who kills without batting an eye and commits evil everywhere. Zhang San stared at Lin Yin. Demoness? Demoness? How did she look like a demoness? Was there such a delicate and lovable demoness? She was clearly a female angel. Lin Yin suddenly recalled that when she had first met Si Bai, he had said that she resembled someone. Even Ling Yu had said the same thing. From the looks of it, it seemed that there was indeed such a possibility. She might be similar to that so-called demoness. In that case, that demoness should also be an evolved being. I would like to ask the two of you if she's powerful. Lin Yin glanced at Zhang San and Li Si. Nonsense. She kills without batting an eye. How can she not be powerful if she can do evil everywhere? Zhang San replied. In that case, the two of you shouldn't be a match for that demoness, right? Asked Lin Yin. Zhang San snorted. More or less. We're just a little weaker. Lin Yin was speechless. She was afraid that they weren't just about the same. They were worlds apart. Alright, let me put it this way. If I'm really the demoness that the two of you mentioned, an extremely high-level evolved being who is ruthless and treats human life like grass, the two of you should have been killed by me the first time you provoked me, replied Lin Yin. Zhang San and Li Si were taken aback by Lin Yan's words. That seemed to make sense. Why hadn't they thought of this before? Big brother, that's right. What she said makes sense. Li Si stared at Lin Yan in confusion. In their eyes, Lin Yan was a weakling. However, she was hundreds of centuries away from the legendary demoness. What do you mean we're so strong? How could the demoness kill us so easily? Zhang San rolled his eyes at Li Si. Zhang San scanned Lin Yan from head to toe. Although we are very strong, the demoness might be slightly stronger than us. What you said makes sense. Senior Zhang San, I definitely have nothing to do with that demoness. Although I'm an evolved being, I'm just an ordinary person. You know that I have my own company and a racing team. I go to work and get off work every day. How could I be a demoness? Replied Lin Yin. At this moment, Zhang San and Li Si were deep in thought. I think that the two of you have been tricked by Si Bai. He doesn't respect you at all. Instead, he's making fun of you. If the two of you accidentally kill me, wouldn't your reputation be ruined if word got out? Lin Yin pressed on. Motherf asterisk her that Si Bai, I knew he wasn't a good person. He really was playing with us brothers. Li Si was furious. End of this chapter. Chapter 937. If that's the case, we have fallen into Si Bai's trap. Zhang San pondered for a moment before accepting Lin Yan's explanation. Yes, Si Bai must be up to no good. He must have used the two of you as pawns. Lin Yan added fuel to the fire. Let's go, big brother. Let's fight him to the death. No one has ever dared to look down on us and treat us like pawns. Li Si gritted his teeth. I wanna. But the two of us are no match for him? Zhang San was hesitant. Lin Yan was startled when she heard that. Zhang San and Li Si couldn't defeat Si Bai? Was Si Bai very strong? She hadn't felt that he was that strong when she had sent him flying with a punch. Seniors, I have an idea. Why don't we work together and capture Si Bai first? Then we can interrogate him. This can be considered as avenging the two of you. Lin Yin, Zhang San, and Li Si whispered to each other for a long time. Lin Yin rushed to the office in the afternoon. Other than He Lufeng and Mo Shuyun, she realized that boss Xiao Yao was there as well. The three of them were sitting on the sofa eating lunch. He Lufeng perked up when he saw Lin Yin enter the office. He mumbled something under his breath. Swallow the food in your mouth first. Lin Yin glanced at He Lufeng with disdain. Sister, you're finally here. Where did you go? You didn't even pick up the phone. Didn't we agree to buy the equipment today? He Lufeng quipped. Lin Yin was speechless. When had she said that she was going to buy equipment? Didn't she need money to buy equipment? There's no hurry, Lin Yin replied casually. She glanced at Xiao Yao. Boss, why are you here? Xiao Yao glanced at Lin Yin. I'm here to scrounge for food. Lin Yin was speechless. No matter how she looked at it, her boss didn't look like someone who would scrounge for food. Xiao Yao took out a briefcase and tossed it on the sofa. This month's salary. Lin Yin smiled brightly. Boss, you're too kind. We're so familiar with each other. There's no hurry. You don't want it? Asked Xiao Yao. No. I mean, I can go to your office to get it myself. Why would I trouble you to bring it here? It's rude. Lin Yin grinned. *CK. He Lufeng opened his briefcase and was stunned when he saw the wads of cash inside. Get your claws off me. Lin Yin snatched the briefcase from him. Sister, is this your salary? He Lufeng's eyes widened. Yeah, what? Asked Lin Yin. So, a half-baked translator didn't even need to go to work, and his monthly salary was sky-high. This boss was a fool with a lot of money. He Lufeng wiped the oil off his mouth and looked at Xiao Yao. Boss, big brother, dad. Lin Yin was speechless. He Lufeng was speechless. I know 8 languages and I'm very good at learning languages. I can learn any foreign language in the shortest time. Boss, do you still need employees? Do you still need employees? He Lufeng couldn't wait to introduce himself. Not at all, Xiao Yao said expressionlessly. He Lufeng was speechless. Xiao Yao's words struck He Lufeng like a bolt out of the blue. The entire world fell into despair. Ahem. Boss, if you don't need anyone, will you consider changing employees? He Lufeng stole a glance at Lin Yan. Chapter 938. Are you courting death? Lin Yan glared at He Lufeng. This rascal was trying to poach her? I won't consider it, replied Xiao Yao. Oh, that's fine then. Let's eat. He Lufeng shook his head, looking rather regretful. He Lufeng, you're too useless. Mo Shuyun glanced at He Lufeng with a frown. Before He Lufeng could speak, Mo Shuyun grinned at Xiao Yao. Daddy, do you need a driver? I'm good at driving. He Lufeng was speechless, Lin Yan was speechless, Xiao Yao was speechless. Boss, we're here to apply. The office door was pushed open and Zhang San and Li Si strode in. He Lufeng jumped in fright when he saw the two of them. He instinctively hugged Xiao Yao's arm. Xiao Yao glanced at He Lufeng expressionlessly. He Lufeng, who was a little embarrassed, shrank his neck in fright. He could only let go of Xiao Yao's arm. Sister, these two people are like ghosts. Quick, beat them up. He Lufeng said nervously. Why should I beat them up? They are cleaners, replied Lin Yan. Cleaners? He Lufeng was astonished. Was there something wrong with her brain? She had hired these two people as cleaners? Did she think that her life was too long? Did she want to reincarnate as soon as possible? You've been hired. Come to work tomorrow. The company will pay you 3,000 yuan a month. No, 2,000 yuan. Lin Yan glanced at Zhang San and Li Si. Young lady, didn't we agree that we would pay 3,000 yuan a month even if we were acting? How long has it been? Why did you reduce it by 1,000 yuan? Zhang San bellowed. That's right. How can you go back on your word? Li Si snorted coldly. Meals? Lin Yan replied after some thought. Hearing this, Zhang San and Li Si looked at each other. A moment later, Zhang San said, Oh, food? All right then, 2,000 it is. But let me tell you, you can't tell a third person that we're here to trick Si Bai. You can't tell anyone that we plan to join forces to subdue Si Bai. Lin Yan was speechless. She suddenly regretted teaming up with Zhang San and Li Si. Was it a huge mistake? We'll come to work tomorrow. By the way, prepare a few more drumsticks for lunch. My brother has a big appetite. He can eat 10 drumsticks and 5 bowls of rice in one meal. With that, Zhang San and Li Si turned and left. Lin Yan snapped back to her senses. 10 drumsticks and 5 bowls of rice. Wait a minute. She should increase their salary to 3,000 yuan and let them eat out. Goddess, what do you mean? Mo Shuyun was confused. Sis, are you alright? What acting? What joining hands to subdue Si Bai? Who's Si Bai? He Lufeng was equally confused. Eat your food. Even food can't shut your mouth. Lin Yan rolled her eyes at He Lufeng. Xiao Yao glanced at Lin Yan meaningfully. Do you still remember what I told you? Lin Yan was startled. What? Don't provoke that person, Xiao Yao said indifferently. Be careful or you'll burn yourself. Boss, do you know Si Bai? Lin Yan frowned. I've heard of it, but I'm not familiar with it, said Xiao Yao. Aren't you familiar with him? Lin Yan fell into deep thought. He provoked my big brother, Xiao Yao replied after some time. And then? Lin Yan was curious. He escaped, Xiao Yao replied. Mo Shuyun glanced at Lin Yan and Xiao Yao in confusion. He realized that he couldn't understand what they were talking about. End of this chapter. Chapter 939. Boss, I fought with Xiao Yao before. He doesn't seem that strong, Lin Yan said softly. He's a pure evolved mind power, and his evolved ability is extremely powerful. Even so, if my big brother hadn't seriously injured him back then, his physical fitness would still be rare. However, his ability has regressed greatly and he has become even weaker. Xiao Yao turned around and left the office without giving Lin Yan a chance to speak. Oh my god. What are you talking about? Evolved mind power? Evolved ability? Mo Shiyun's jaw almost dropped to the ground. Had these two bosses watched too many sci-fi movies and gone berserk? He Lufeng didn't say anything else as he ate his lunch quietly. That day he had pretended to be Xiao Yao to save Lin Yan. From then on, he had known that this world was different from the one he knew. However, Lin Yan didn't say anything so he wouldn't probe further. After all, he was just an ordinary genius racer. Lin Yan glanced at Mo Shiyun and fell silent for a moment before she raised her head. Don't you know that I have another identity besides being a racer? Actor? Mo Shuyun asked instinctively. Lin Yan nodded. Yeah, boss and I were rehearsing and discussing the script. Is there a problem? Oh, I was wondering. Mo Shuyun was enlightened after hearing Lin Yan's explanation. After all this time he hadn't gone crazy. So they had been rehearsing. That's not right, right? Mo Shuyun asked curiously. Boss Xiaoyao, he's not an actor. Why would he be rehearsing with you and discussing the script? Lin Yan pondered it for a moment before she replied, look at Boss Xiaoyao's looks. Doesn't he beat all the fresh meats in the industry? That's for sure. If I were a woman, I would definitely pursue him. Mo Shuyun nodded eagerly as though he agreed with Lin Yan. That's why I brought him into the industry. Is there a problem? Lin Yan continued to spout nonsense. Then I understand. Boss Xiaoyao will definitely be a superstar in the future. He's rich and handsome. We have to cozy up to him. Mo Shuyun chuckled. He Lifeng ate his lunch quietly as he listened to Lin Yan's nonsense. After the meal, Mo Shuyun called Yun Xian over. Ever since the team had been established, they had been recruiting racers. Initially, it had only been the few of them, but after a long time, it was still the few of them. Other than the two dubious cleaners, no one else had been recruited. Fortunately, the rent was free. Otherwise, he would have lost all his money before he even started. When Yun Xian arrived, he told He Lifeng, old master is doing well in the hospital. He's recovering well. I've been taking care of him these few days. Don't worry. Lin Yan's eyes trailed to He Lifeng. I asked you to look after grandfather, but you didn't. Why did you ask Yun Xian to look after him? Lin Yan wished she could slap He Lifeng. He Lifeng was speechless. Sister, listen to me. I've been watching it, but I can't watch it 24 hours a day. I'm busy with work. Yun Xian is unemployed, so I let him watch it for a while. He Lifeng said. Unemployed Yun Xian. The company hasn't even hired anyone, yet you're telling me that you're busy? Lin Yan hissed coldly. End of chapter. Chapter 940. No wonder Lin Yan hadn't seen Yun Xian recently. He Lifeng had sent him to the hospital to take care of his grandfather. Sister, I was wrong. I won't do it again. If you're hospitalized next time, I will be by your side 24 hours a day. He Lifeng apologized to Lin Yan. You're really good with words. Mo Shuyun gave He Lifeng a thumbs up. Why don't you say that you were by your sister's side 24 hours a day when she died? He Lifeng was startled by Lin Yan's hostile gaze. He realized that he had said something wrong and hurriedly changed the topic. Oh yeah, I think that given my sister's racing skills, we don't need to find too many elites. My sister is the backbone, and Yun Xian, Captain Mo Shuyun, and I are the cornerstones. We can find some random people to make up the numbers. I think we can still make the Aurora team famous. When that time comes, we won't have to worry about a lack of outstanding racers. Hey, you're suddenly enlightened. Mo Shuyun pondered the feasibility of this idea and nodded. That was not a bad idea. All of them were aware of Lin Yan's capabilities. During the competition, Lin Yan had single-handedly led the He family team to the championship of Category C. Hence, Lin Yan was able to single-handedly replace the entire team. Yun Xian, what do you think? Mo Shuyun glanced at Yun Xian, who didn't like to talk much. Yeah. Sister is very strong, replied Yun Xian. Ha ha ha. I'm indeed a genius. He Lifeng grinned. Genius my A**s. Lin Yan glared at He Lifeng. Don't you know that I've been banned? He Lifeng quipped. Sister, what's wrong with that? Weren't you also banned when you were with the He family? Didn't you still flaunt your prowess on the track? If you don't say anything, who would know? The situation is different. Lin Yan shook her head. The racing team was extremely strict with the new teams. Although the He family team was a low-level team, it had a long history, so the inspection wasn't that strict. Her grandfather would help her settle everything. However, it was a different story when it came to the new team. Taking 10,000 steps back, even if she could deceive them, there was still a ticking time bomb there. She would not take such a risk. He Lifeng furrowed his brows. Sister is the ticking time bomb. Lin Shuya? Lin Yan stroked He Lifeng's head in relief. This rascal was finally smart for once. Lin Shuya was the one who had caused her to be banned from racing. Lin Shuya hadn't reported her when she had been with the He family team. Perhaps she had been concerned about her reputation. Now that Lin Shuya had left the entertainment industry and was entering the racing industry, she didn't need her reputation anymore. The consequences would be unimaginable if Lin Shuya reported her. Sister Shuya. Lin Shuya is an ingrate. Her conscience must have been eaten by a dog. Sister, you've been so nice to her. You've been biased towards Lin Shuya ever since we were young. You didn't give me anything good to eat. Instead you gave everything to Lin Shuya. You even punched me because of Lin Shuya. He Lufeng glanced at Lin Yan aggrieved. Lin Yan was speechless. Why was he getting further and further away from the topic? Sister, now that you know me, I'm your dearest brother. Tell me who is closer to you than I am. He Lufeng quipped. End of this chapter. Chapter 941. He Lufeng's voice trailed off. When Lin Yan gazed at He Lufeng again, her eyes finally revealed the gentleness that a sister should have. Indeed, He Lufeng was her greatest consolation. Although he might not be smart enough, he might have promised her and disobeyed her. However, He Lufeng was her brother's limit. A few days ago he had risked his life to save her. Of course, if it hadn't been for Zhang San and Li Si, the two idiots, she and He Lufeng would have probably died. I will treat you better in the future. Lin Yan stroked He Lufeng's head and whispered softly. Sister. We are siblings. We are no different from biological siblings. You don't have to say that. Sister, give me more money? He Lufeng stared at Lin Yan expectantly. The smile on Lin Yan's face froze when she heard He Lufeng. Get lost, Lin Yan said sternly. He Lufeng was speechless. Indeed, he couldn't believe his sister's words. Didn't she say that she would treat him better? She had been so gentle a second ago, but she had asked him to get lost the next second. She had changed her attitude faster than flipping a page. Lin Yan couldn't be bothered to talk to him anymore. She whipped out her phone and logged into the game. Riches and Honor's profile picture had been white a second ago, but it had turned gray the next second. Lin Yan was infuriated when she saw this. How dare Wang Jingyang go offline the moment he saw her? Lin Yan suppressed her anger and sent a few text messages to Riches and Honor. Late at night, Tianlan Barth neon lights flickered nonstop as young men and women gathered like a wave. The bar was filled with deafening DJ music. Wang Jingyang sat at the bar counter and ordered a glass of liquor. He whipped out his phone and logged into the game. Get Rich Lin said, Doggy, come quickly. I'll take you flying. Get Rich Lin said, Doggy, can you trust me again? The previous few times were really an accident. If I use Kai Wenji to fight in the wilderness again, I will die. She had only just realized that the person who had tricked Wang Jingyang and the others was Pei Yuqing. Get Rich Lin. You son of a b*****, if you don't reply, I'll go to your house and kill you. Hurry up and form a group with me. I'll only charge you 100 yuan for the first round. You can pay when you're satisfied. Wang Jingyang stared at Lin Yan's message and glanced at her profile picture. It had turned gray. She must have sent this message some time ago. It's been a long time since I drank beer and ate kebabs with you. I really miss it. You got a boyfriend and forgot about me. Wang Jingyang sighed with a sad expression. After drinking a few glasses of liquor, Wang Jingyang got up and looked at the pretty girl beside him. He smiled, which he thought was very charming, and walked to the girl's side. Hi, beautiful. Hearing this, the girl raised her head and looked at Wang Jingyang. What is it? Pretty girl, want a date? Wang Jingyang smiled. As soon as Wang Jingyang finished speaking, a look of astonishment appeared on the girl's face. You're too direct. What direct? Oh, I mean a date? I'll treat you to kebabs and beer. Wang Jingyang said. Do I need to bring my ID? The girl seemed to be deep in thought. Wang Jingyang scratched his head. Do you mean that after we eat and drink, we'll go to an internet cafe and spend the night? The girl chuckled softly. Sure. After leaving the bar, Wang Jingyang removed his jacket and draped it over the girl's shoulders. You're a gentleman, the girl said softly. That depends on the person. For a beautiful girl like you, I can be a gentleman forever. Wang Jingyang grinned. End of this chapter. Chapter 942. The girl stared at Wang Jingyang and said, Hey, you sure know how to talk. You must have cheated many women. Wang Jingyang shook his head and touched the girl's nose with his finger. You're so beautiful. Hearing this, the girl blushed. Is that so? How beautiful is she? Have you heard of the saying, a woman is the most poisonous. The more evil she is, the more beautiful she is. Wang Jingyang suddenly hugged the girl's waist. So, are you saying that I'm poisonous, or are you saying that I'm beautiful? The girl asked softly. Hey, you're beautiful, but it's a pity. The corners of Wang Jingyang's mouth curled up slightly, forming an inexplicable smile that sent chills down one's spine. You, and the people behind you have chosen the wrong person. The girl's pupils constricted, and she instinctively tried to break free from Wang Jingyang's embrace. However, Wang Jingyang was like an unshakable mountain. No matter how hard she tried, she couldn't break free. Are you crazy? The girl was slightly frightened. Let go of me or I'll call for help. Wang Jingyang immediately let go of her and smiled awkwardly at the girl. I was just joking with you. Do you have to go so far? The person I like is an actor, so I also want to be one. What do you think of my acting skills? Did I scare you just now? The girl's mouth twitched. Crazy. Hey beauty, don't go. Seeing that the girl was about to leave, Wang Jingyang hurriedly chased after her. However, just as Wang Jingyang was about to catch up to the girl, she suddenly turned around and stabbed a dagger with a cold glint towards Wang Jingyang's body. The girl stabbed with such great force that one could even hear the sound of air being pierced. In the next second there was the sound of metal breaking. She took a closer look. There was a hole in Wang Jingyang's shirt, revealing his well-defined muscles. The girl's dagger broke into pieces when it came into contact with Wang Jingyang's body, leaving only the handle. This scene caused the girl's expression to change drastically. Beauty, you haven't said anything yet. My acting just now wasn't good enough. Wang Jingyang stared at the policewoman, and the corners of his lips curled up slightly. This time there was no terrifying smile on his face. Instead, it was full of evil charm, like the smile of Azura from Purgatory. You. The girl stared at Wang Jingyang in disbelief. Such a good dagger. Must be very expensive. It's such a waste. Wang Jingyang sighed. The girl turned around to escape, but no matter how far she ran, Wang Jingyang would always be waiting for her at the end of this remote alley. In the dark night, Wang Jingyang leaned against the corner of the wall. Under the moonlight, his perfect figure was even more charming. At this moment, Wang Jingyang's pair of deep eyes fell on the slightly panicked girl. He chuckled and said, "How's my acting?" The girl frowned deeply. This man, good. Your acting skills are quite good. Finally, the girl dispelled her fear and smiled calmly. What do you think about me entering the entertainment industry? Wang Jingyang continued. Tomorrow's star, an international superstar, the girl said. Who sent you here? What's your purpose in injuring me? Let's talk about it. Wang Jingyang asked with a seemingly casual smile. Without waiting for the girl to speak, Wang Jingyang suddenly laughed and said, Wait a minute, let me guess. You want to subdue me, and then ask me for the whereabouts of a certain person? Chapter 943. The girl kept her distance from Wang Jingyang. This man's smile, every word made her soul tremble. How many years had it been since someone had given her such a terrifying feeling? It was as if he was toying with someone's life in his hands, yet he could still face the fear with a smile. With her innate evolver level, what kind of evolver could cause her soul to tremble? Look at how scared you are. Wang Jingyang instantly moved to the girl's side. The girl was speechless. At that moment, the girl's entire body was soaked in cold sweat. Fast, so fast that the man's speed could no longer be seen with the naked eye. What kind of genetic and physical evolved being was this? Well, look at how scared you are. Am I that scary? Or am I ugly? Wang Jingyang asked with a smile. Very pretty. The girl tried to calm herself down. That's true. But you haven't told me, who sent you here? Wang Jingyang's eyes were filled with coldness. The girl was about to speak, but Wang Jingyang suddenly interrupted. Forget it, I suddenly don't want to hear it and I'm not interested. So, I will be killed by you, the girl said. Huh. Wang Jingyang put his hands on the girl's shoulders and looked at her carefully. Not bad. It would be a pity if you died. Then Wang Jingyang took off the girl's jacket and put it on himself. Innate evolved being, high level and distinguished, but remember to cherish your life. You really don't want to ask, but you won't kill me. The girl looked at Wang Jingyang's back and frowned. Bye-bye. Wang Jingyang didn't even turn his head and just waved his hand casually. At a certain street corner, Wang Jingyang took out his phone and made a call. Come see me, same place. After hanging up, Wang Jingyang took out a bottle of milk from his jacket pocket, drank a few mouthfuls and threw it into the bin. About 10 minutes later, a middle-aged woman appeared. Sir. After seeing Wang Jingyang, the middle-aged woman bowed to him respectfully. Auntie, you are the adult, I am the child. Wang Jingyang looked at the middle-aged woman and smiled. The middle-aged woman was wearing a black hat, sunglasses and a black mask, so her face could not be seen clearly. A mask and a hat. Isn't it hot? Wang Jingyang stared at the middle-aged woman and smiled. Hearing this, the middle-aged woman nodded slightly. She then took off her sunglasses, hat and mask. If Lin Yan had been there, she would have recognized her mother. Imuyun. Sir, did you ask me to come here in the middle of the night because of young mistress? Imuyun looked at Wang Jingyang with a deep frown. Well, really, what kind of perfume was that woman wearing just now? It smelled so good. I have to take a shower when I get back and then wash my clothes, Wang Jingyang said thoughtfully. My lord? Imuyun called out softly when she saw Wang Jingyang muttering to himself. What did you say just now? Wang Jingyang took out another bottle of milk from his coat. I mean, are you looking for me because of the young mistress? Imuyun asked. Oh, you're asking about this? Wang Jingyang wiped the milk off the corner of his mouth and smiled at Imuyun. Auntie, shall we play a game? Chapter 944. Cold sweat trickled down Imuyun's forehead as she looked at the man before her. No one knew how terrifying this seemingly harmless man was, or how ruthless he was. Every time Imuyun saw his smile, she would associate him with the Grim Reaper. Auntie, what's wrong? Don't you want to play? Wang Jingyang chuckled. Sir, please speak. Imuyun lowered her head. Well, this game is very simple. I ask and you answer. Whatever I ask, you answer. You can't lie, Auntie. Wang Jingyang's smile did not diminish. Sir, please ask. I won't hide anything, Imuyun said. All right, I'll ask then. Wang Jingyang finished the last mouthful of milk and threw the empty bottle into the bin. Wang Jingyang rubbed his hands and asked, Auntie, did you tell anyone else about young mistress's identity and whereabouts? Wang Jingyang asked casually, but Imuyun felt as though she had been struck by lightning. She almost fell to the ground. Young mistress's identity and whereabouts. What did he mean? Why would Wang Jingyang ask her such a question? He was doubting himself. Sir, I never did. Imuyun's expression was firm. If anything happens to young mistress, I won't live. Wang Jingyang gestured for her to keep quiet. He looked at Imuyun and smiled. Auntie, we have to abide by the rules of the game. Don't rush to answer questions I didn't ask. I'm sorry. I was rude. Imuyun nodded. If your life is threatened one day, will you tell anyone else about young mistress's whereabouts? Auntie, you have to tell the truth. Lying will make your nose grow longer, Wang Jingyang said with a smile. I won't. Imuyun answered without any hesitation. Do you love young mistress? Wang Jingyang asked again. She's my life. She's everything to me, Imuyun said. Haha, Auntie, you're like a real mother, Wang Jingyang teased. I've always thought of myself as a mother, Imuyun said. Auntie, if you didn't tell anyone, why would anyone come to find trouble with me? I hate it when people lie to me. Wang Jingyang sighed. I don't know. Imuyun shook her head. Yes, Auntie. Our game is over. Let's go back and rest. It's getting cold. Wang Jingyang looked at Imuyun emotionlessly. When Imuyun raised her head, Wang Jingyang had already disappeared into the darkness. It was as though he had never appeared. Everything was like a dream. Cloud Manor. After Lin Yan washed up, she lay on the bed and played with her phone. She had just started the game when she saw Riches and Honor's ID. Get rich, Lin? Where the F***ck are you? I called you just now, but your phone has been shut down because you owe money. Don't you have money to pay? A moment later, Wealthy Dog sent a message. Riches and Honor whined, Lin Yan, damn you. You're so stingy. You know that I owe money, yet you can't even bear to pay me 20 yuan. Lin Yan sneered coldly at Wang Jingyang's message. Young man, if you want me to pay for your call, you're dreaming. Did she have to wait a few days to pay up when she ran out of phone money? Get Rich, Lin said. Come on, I'll take you flying. Riches and Honor replied, I just remembered that I have something to do. Get Rich, Lin. If I lose, I'll pay you 1,000 yuan. If I win, you give me 100 yuan. Riches and Honor replied, Oh, I just remembered that I have nothing to do. Come on then. Chapter 945. Get Rich, Lin replied, Boss, hold on. I'll get someone else. I'll be done soon. It's the same with one or two. It's better to have another boss, then I can earn double the money. She was really smart. Lin Yan clicked on Pei Yutong's ID in the game. Pei Yutong's WeChat ID was this car isn't going to kindergarten, while his in-game ID was this car isn't going to kindergarten. This naughty kid didn't have a normal ID. Lin Yan glanced at Pei Yutong's profile picture, which was dark, so she typed on WeChat. Misty City amid the setting sun typed, Boss, do you want me to help you fly? My king is sneaky. This car isn't going to kindergarten typed, I've sent you a message but the other party rejected it. Lin Yin stared speechlessly at Pei Yutong's message and typed, I'll help you advance. If I lose I'll give you 1,000 yuan. If I win you'll give me 100 yuan. This car isn't going to kindergarten typed, F***CK. Daddy, did someone hack your account? Lin Yin replied with a voice message, no thanks. This car isn't going to kindergarten typed, then why are you suddenly giving me money? Misty City amid the setting sun was speechless, Lin Yin was speechless. Those consecutive defeats had really been an accident. I wasn't the one who had cheated you. It was your big brother. Misty City amid the setting sun typed, so do you want it or not? This car isn't going to kindergarten typed, yes yes yes. Daddy, how could I reject your free money? I'm coming. Wait for me. Pei Yutong logged into the game. Lin Yin added them to the same team and started to match them. The three of them turned on the voice chat. Pei Yutong and Wang Jingyang had been together with Lin Yin before, so they were familiar with each other. When they met again they started to chat. Pei Yutong asked curiously, brother, what did she offer you? Why are you still willing to come? Wang Jingyang replied, if I lose she will pay me 1,000 yuan per round. Pei Yutong replied, what? You too. She agreed to pay me 1,000 yuan per round. Daddy, aren't you going to lose all your money today? Pei Yutong asked Lin Yin. Lin Yin chuckled softly and rubbed her palms together. I told you that it was an accident. I'll fly you right away. However, I'll say the ugly words first. Don't drag me down. Let's end this quickly. Time is money. Pei Yutong replied, Daddy, with your skills, do you think I can hold you back? Lin Yin inhaled deeply. For the sake of her future business, she had to be more serious and prove herself. Soon it was time to choose a hero. Wang Jingyang was afraid that Lin Yin would choose Kai Wenji again. Before Lin Yin could react, he had chosen Kai Wenji. Pei Yutong chose the sorcerer in the middle lane, Zhong Kuei. Lin Yin had chosen armor to hunt in the jungle. In honor of kings, Kai had a nickname, Kai Daddy. It was obvious that Lin Yin had chosen this hero to show off her skills. Pei Yutong was surprised to see that Lin Yin had chosen this hero. Lin Yin had always chosen Kai Wenji when she had been tricked. He hadn't expected that she would choose such a flashy hero this time. Oh my god. If Kai Wenji could trick them so badly, would they be tricked even worse this time? There was still a chance that they could salvage the situation if they chose to hunt in the jungle. That would be a disaster. Lin Yan's window faced the pool. She held her phone in her hand as she leaned against a chair beside the floor-to-ceiling window. The water in the pool shimmered and reflected the sunlight. Lin Yan was waiting leisurely for the game to finish loading when she caught sight of Pei Yuqing walking toward the pool. Chapter 946. Lin Yan was leisurely waiting for the game to finish loading when she caught a glimpse of Pei Yuqing walking towards the pool. Pei Yuqing seemed to have a habit of swimming. However, she had been too busy and seldom stayed home during the day, so she had never seen him. Pei Yuqing was only wearing a loose bathrobe. Before Lin Yan could react, the man took off his bathrobe and tossed it on the chair, revealing his slim waist, long slender legs and beautiful, toned stomach. Cough. 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 Lin Yan coughed violently when she saw the sudden turn of events. Her first reaction was to avert her gaze and avoid looking at indecent things. However, he failed after trying. She couldn't move her eyes at all. Lin Yan pondered for a moment. That wasn't right. Why couldn't she look? He was her boyfriend. The boyfriend that she had wooed personally. She could look at him openly. Suddenly, she heard the crisp sound of the system's notification. First blood, first blood. Lin Yan snapped out of her daze and glanced at her phone. She hadn't realized when the hero she had controlled had run too far. She had run into the enemy's defense tower and been killed by it. The enemy had stabbed her and killed her. Lin Yan was speechless, Wang Jingyang was speechless, Pei Yutong was speechless. There was an awkward silence in the game. Wang Jingyang and Pei Yutong had a lingering fear when they saw the familiar interface of the game. They regretted agreeing to play with Lin Yan again for the sake of the 1,000 yuan. They cautiously crept to the line and waited for the minions. In the end, they watched helplessly as Lin Yan ran all the way to the enemy's defense tower. She didn't stop and rushed into the tower. The tower attacked her until she was left with a sliver of health. Then the enemy killed her and killed her. Everything happened so quickly that the two of them didn't even have time to shout. Lin Yan's opening gambit had shocked them. Wang Jingyang said, I regret it. Can I not take the 1,000 yuan? Pei Yutong replied, I don't want it either. Is my life worth 1,000 yuan? No way. I want more money. Wang Jingyang was speechless. Lin Yin, what's wrong with you? What did we do to offend you? Isn't it enough for you to beat us 12 times in a row? Now that you've finally chosen a normal hero, you're actually going to die in the tower? Have you been possessed by a ghost? He had played games with Lin Yin often, so he knew how good she was. Lin Yin had been behaving strangely recently, so Wang Jingyang couldn't help but feel puzzled. Lin Yin was speechless. She had no idea how to explain herself. Last time she was possessed by a ghost, but this time she really wasn't. This time it was just lust clouding his heart. Lin Yin coughed softly and rubbed her nose. I saw a handsome guy and got distracted. Let's continue. Pei Yutong felt that something was amiss. Wasn't she with Big Brother? Where did this handsome guy come from? Wang Jingyang was speechless. What kind of handsome guy can distract you in the game? Lin Yin stroked her chin as she maneuvered her hero back to the jungle. Her eyes couldn't help but wander in the direction of the pool. Chapter 947. Pei Yuqing had finished his round. He got up from the pool and strode to the shore. He reached out to tuck his wet hair behind his ear. The afternoon sun seemed to gild the man with a pale golden halo. His wet and messy hair also made the man, who was usually strict and abstinent, look a little more casual and unruly. Transparent water droplets dripped down from his hair, slowly sliding down his collarbone, chest and lower abdomen. First blood, double kill, triple kill. Lin Yin was pulled back to reality by the continuous notifications. When she glanced at her phone again, the screen had turned black. Lin Yin, Wang Jingyang and Pei Yutong's corpses were the only things left on the screen. His two teammates were cursing him. What the F***? Is Armor an actor sent by the enemy? Armor Daddy? You must be a coward. He has single-handedly destroyed the entire team. He's awesome. Kaiwenji Zhongkue, are you out of your minds? Why did you follow that idiot? Why are they all dead? What happened? Lin Yin was dumbfounded. Pei Yutong yelled, F***. Daddy. What are you doing? We thought that you were going to form a team, so we followed you. In the end, when they charged in, you stood there motionless and let them kill you? Wang Jingyang replied, I'm so stupid. I actually tried to save you. Wang Jingyang couldn't bear to watch his teammates hurl insults at him. It had only been 10 minutes, but he was already exhausted. Wang Jingyang replied, how about this? I was wrong. I'm really sorry. I'll give you 1,000 yuan. Let me go, okay? At the thought of her 2,000 yuan, Lin Yin rubbed her hair frantically. It was an accident. It was an accident. I'm going to be serious now. Lin Yin rolled up her sleeves and inhaled deeply. She had to fight hard now. She had only lost 4 players. There was still time to turn the tables. Lin Yin lowered her head and prepared to take off. Suddenly Lin Yin felt a shadow fall on her head. Then he heard a low voice. What are you doing? Pei Yuqing had already finished swimming. She had no idea when he had walked over to her window. Although the man had put on a bathrobe, it was open, and there was only a loose belt around his waist. Basically, he was trying to cover himself up, so he might as well not wear it. Lin Yan's hands trembled at the sight of it. Then she was killed by a wild monster. Lin Yan averted her eyes awkwardly. I started a game and you finished it. Pei Yuqing's eyes trailed to Lin Yan's phone. When he saw the familiar game, he asked, is this the game you played? I'm sorry, I originally wanted to help you, but I don't seem to be playing very well. Lin Yan was speechless. Hee boss, it's not just bad. Wang Jingyang and Pei Yutong were so frightened that they ran away the moment they saw her. Lin Yan blurted out, no way. As a newbie, you're already doing very well. You're especially talented. You just need to practice hard. Pei Yuqing chuckled softly. Really? Lin Yan nodded earnestly. Of course. I've seen a few replays and your Kai Wenji plays with a lot of ideas. Pei Yuqing picked up a white towel and wiped his hair. Can you teach me? Lin Yan pondered for a moment. Pei Yuqing had nothing to do at home, so she nodded. Of course. I was afraid that you wouldn't be interested. Pei Yuqing grinned. No, it's quite interesting. Chapter 948. Lin Yan and Pei Yuqing curled up on the couch in the living room with their phones in hand. In just a few moments, Lin Yan was hovering between life and death. Lin Yan had switched off her phone when Pei Yuqing had come over, so she hadn't heard Pei Yutong and Wang Jingyang's cries. Ahem. Let me finish this round first. I'll pull you into the game after this. Lin Yan glanced at Pei Yuqing as her fingers flew across the keyboard. Watch how I play first. Okay. Pei Yuqing put down his phone and inched closer to Lin Yan's screen. How dare this fellow act so arrogantly in front of me? I'm going to kill him. Wait for me to use my ultimate skill. Lin Yan was about to show off her skills in front of Pei Yuqing. However, her fingers trembled when she sensed his aura. In an instant she sent another head flying. Lin Yan stared at the black screen and coughed awkwardly. It was a mistake. My hand slipped. This car is going to kindergarten typed. The other team is so fat. Daddy, are you rearing pigs? Riches and honor typed. If you hang up now, we'll still be brothers. This car is going to kindergarten typed. Daddy, why did you turn off your voice chat and start killing people? I know. I finally know. Are you afraid to face us because you have a guilty conscience? Daddy, tell me. How much money did the other team give you? Why are you acting like this? You don't even care about our father-son relationship anymore. Lin Yan was exasperated as she read Pei Yutong and Wang Jingyang's messages. Her character had been revived in the game. Lin Yan inhaled deeply and forced herself to ignore Pei Yuqing's interference. She decided that she had to do her best this time. Lin Yan explained to Pei Yuqing as she operated the game. Look, we are too far behind the other team in terms of numbers and level. We won't be able to defeat them, so I need to lay low and save some money. Pei Yuqing's arm rested on the back of Lin Yan's chair as he watched her operate the game. How are we going to save money? I don't think the manager will be able to catch up with you if we just focus on killing monsters. Lin Yan nodded. You're right. I have to level up as soon as possible. However, killing monsters isn't enough. So, let's go to Pei Yutong's place. Hence, Lin Yan maneuvered her hero and dashed towards Pei Yutong's lane to snatch his minions. Pei Yutong had been diligently farming soldiers when he saw Lin Yan trying to steal his money. He was so infuriated that he nearly burst into tears. This bus is going to kindergarten. My minions. My money. Daddy. It's fine that you made me hover between life and death, but you even wanted to dirty my minions. From today onwards I will sever all ties with you. Lin Yan typed in the game, since you have no use for it, why don't you give it to me? You're the main attacker but you haven't even killed a single person. What's the point of keeping you? Pei Yutong was furious. You're the one who tricked me. Why didn't you say that you raised 5 people on the other side by yourself? Lin Yan clicked her tongue. I wanted to increase the difficulty of the game. Otherwise it would be too boring. Chapter 949. Wang Jingyang was supporting the archer at the bottom lane. When he saw Lin Yan running over, he ignored the archer's curses and started to farm minions. He even typed arrogantly in the team chat. Kaiwenji, follow me. Don't run around. What's the use of following a piece of trash? Wang Jingyang wanted to beat her to death when he heard her shameless words. How dare you say that? How dare you say that? The support would usually follow and protect the strongest person. Lin Yan had sent someone to 3 lanes, yet she still wanted the support to follow her. How could he not be infuriated? As expected, the archer was about to go crazy with anger. There were all sorts of comments in the team chat. Get rich, Lin typed. Kaiwenji, hurry up and follow me. What are you waiting for? Wang Jingyang didn't want to follow Lin Yan, but he didn't dare disobey her. He could only follow her with his short legs, humiliated. Lin Yan snatched 3 lanes of minions. During this period, enemies tried to kill her, but she ran away. When they stopped chasing her, she continued to farm minions. Soon she caught up. Lin Yan rubbed her palms together and told Pei Yuqing, it's almost time. I'm going to kill someone. Watch me later. Oh yeah, I forgot that you like to play with Kaiwenji. Watch me teach Kaiwenji later. Okay. Pei Yuqing picked up a pillow and placed it behind Lin Yan's waist so that she could lean more comfortably. When Pei Yuqing placed the pillow, his body inevitably moved closer. Lin Yan instinctively raised her head and her eyes landed on the man. Then she met a pair of gentle eyes. Pei Yuqing hadn't changed yet. He was still wearing the loose bathrobe. Lin Yan's eyes trailed down and met the man's bare chest. It was a lazy afternoon, and she and Pei Yuqing were snuggling together on the sofa. They had never been so intimate before. It was only then that Lin Yan realized how close they were to each other. The temperature in the air seemed to be rising. It seemed like ever since she had won Pei Yuqing's heart, his attitude toward her had changed subtly. He no longer treated her with respect. He might even break through the gap that he had never been able to before. When Lin Yan had first met this man, she hadn't dared to believe that their relationship would come to this one day. First blood. First kill. Double kill. Double kill. The game screen turned black for the umpteenth time. Lin Yan and Wang Jingyang had both died. Lin Yin and Wang Jingyang's deaths had a huge impact on the team. As the battle progressed, it took longer for them to respawn. Now that they had lost 2 members, their opponents seized the opportunity to attack the tower. The remaining 3 people on Lin Yan's side couldn't stop them at all. In the end, they could only watch helplessly as they were pushed to the high ground. Defeat failed. On the game screen, the word failed was displayed, lost. She personally went to fight, but she actually lost. She lost $2,000. Lin Yan's heart was bleeding. You seem to have lost. Pei Yuqing glanced at Lin Yan's phone out of the corner of his eye. Lin Yan glared at the man angrily. Can't you put on some clothes? What? Pei Yuqing looked puzzled. Chapter 950. Pei Yuqing didn't retort. Instead, he gazed at her and said dotingly, "Yes, it's my fault." Lin Yan was in a daze when she heard that. It was as though she had returned to the first time she had met Pei Yuqing. When she had woken up in Pei Yuqing's bed, Pei Yuqing had just come out of the bathroom. She couldn't think at all when she saw the scene before her. It was exactly the same situation now. I lost 2,000 yuan. 2,000 yuan. Lin Yan was heartbroken. Indeed, dating was too expensive. Although her heart ached, Lin Yan still kept her word. According to their agreement, she transferred 1,000 yuan to Pei Yutong and Wang Jingyang respectively. Wang Jingyang swiftly received the money and sent Lin Yan a message. Lin Yan, damn you. So, you insisted on me following you so that you could drag me down with you? Tell me clearly how much money the other party gave you. I want half of the compensation for my mental distress. Pei Yutong's message came as well. What kind of handsome guy could make you suffer like this? Can you let me broaden my horizons? Lin Yan ignored Wang Jingyang's message. When she saw Pei Yutong's message, she video called him. Pei Yutong picked up the call and glared at Lin Yan with righteous indignation. What? Don't expect me to call you father again, I tell you. Lin Yan rolled her eyes at him. Nothing. Don't you want to know what kind of handsome guy I tricked? I'll show you. Lin Yan shifted the video to Pei Yuqing. Pei Yuqing appeared on the screen. Pei Yutong stared at the handsome face on the screen. His hair was slightly messy and his bathrobe was loose, revealing his chest. His brain stopped working. Big brother? Do you have any other questions? Lin Yan glared at him as though she was saying, who can take this? Pei Yutong swallowed his saliva. No problem. Sorry for disturbing you. After that, he hung up the video call with a beep. After sending Pei Yutong away, Lin Yan glanced at Pei Yuqing. Oh yeah, when are you leaving? Pei Zhe had been delayed by something, so Pei Yuqing hadn't returned to the old mansion yet. Tomorrow morning, Pei Yuqing replied. So fast? But you haven't fully recovered. Lin Yan frowned unconsciously. Something might have happened at home. I have to go back. Pei Yuqing nodded. Be careful then, Lin Yan replied thoughtfully. Lin Yan felt that it was inevitable for an evolved family like the Pei family to have internal strife. Previously, she had specifically asked Xing Chen about the Pei family's headquarters. For example, Pei Zhe usually did not reveal himself, but he seemed to be secretly planning something. He had not completely let go of the Pei family's inheritance. Although Pei Yuqing was exiled, he couldn't be underestimated. The headquarters of the Pei family hadn't forgotten Pei Yuqing either. Xing Chen suspected that Pei Zhe had come this time to reach an agreement with Pei Yuqing or to rope him in. Lin Yan wasn't aware of the Pei family's internal strife, nor did she care. However, for some reason, Pei Yuqing was about to leave Cloud Manor and head to the Pei family's headquarters with Pei Zhe. She felt a little uneasy. Lin Yan had had this feeling several times and every time something would happen. Hence, she was a little worried about Pei Yuqing heading to the Pei family's headquarters. Are you worried about me? Pei Yuqing's deep eyes met Lin Yan's. Lin Yan coughed softly and mumbled, how can I not be worried about my boyfriend who I spent so much effort to woo? Anyway, you have to be careful when you go back. End of this chapter. Chapter 951. Deep in the night, it was as if the whole world had fallen asleep. Somewhere deep in the forest, Wang Jingyang was lying comfortably beside a small stream. The sound of flowing water surrounded him. Wang Jingyang picked up the flower beside him and looked at it carefully for a long time. This is your hometown. You were born in your hometown and buried in your hometown. You have your own life and freedom. Your mission is to bloom. I'm so envious. Wang Jingyang stared at the flower in his hand and the corner of his lips curled up. In the forest deep in the night, the sound of flowing water could be heard continuously. The breeze in the forest was intoxicating, but it was not peaceful at all. Are you tired? You've been following me for the whole day. Wang Jingyang took out a bottle of milk from his pocket. After drinking it, he put the empty bottle back into his pocket. If you don't come out, I'll really be angry. Wang Jingyang chuckled. After a while, there was still no movement around. Immediately, Wang Jingyang picked up a stone casually. Soon, the stone flew out of Wang Jingyang's hand and landed deep in the forest. In just a breath's time, a scream was heard. In the next second, more than 10 young men and women walked out from nearby. Wang Jingyang looked at the strangers casually and smiled. I'm not familiar with any of you, nor do I have any grudges with you. Are you planning to rob me from day to night? I'm very poor. Since you found out, there's no need for us to play dumb. Hand over that woman, and what happens next has nothing to do with you. The young man in the lead looked at Wang Jingyang and sneered. Woman. Wang Jingyang was slightly taken aback when he heard that. He said in surprise, What woman? Why do you want a woman? I'm a single dog. I don't have a woman for you. Hearing that, the young man in the lead's face turned even colder. However, before the man could speak, Wang Jingyang suddenly smiled. Forget it. You're right. It's not fun to play dumb. The man's gaze fell on Wang Jingyang. It's good that you understand. Like I said before, you just need to hand over that woman. After that, you have nothing to do with it. What if I don't hand her over? What do you plan to do? Wang Jingyang asked. What do you think? The man in the lead said coldly. About half an hour later, Wang Jingyang sat by the side and said with a faint smile, The most important thing for a person is to know himself. Luckily I'm kind. Otherwise, you guys wouldn't have been able to go back alive. The men and women felt a chill as they looked at the monster-like man before them. After the group left, Wang Jingyang sat on the ground casually and fell into deep thought. After the group of people left, Wang Jingyang sat on the ground and fell into deep thought. After all, the years were as peaceful as they could be. After all, he had had as he is. If it was just a hunter's guild, it would not matter. However, the appearance of these people made Wang Jingyang wary. Of the Long He, Yang? Wang Jingyang mumbled. A moment later he disappeared. End of this chapter. Chapter 952. Lin Yin had been worried about Pei Yuqing ever since he had left. Lin Yin would video call Pei Yuqing every once in a while. No matter what Pei Yuqing was doing, he would pick up Lin Yan's call immediately. Lin Yin had even seen Pei Yuqing attending a meeting at the Pei family's headquarters. She had accidentally seen many young members of the Pei family. Lin Yin was so frightened that she quickly hung up, afraid that she would disturb him. Lin Yin heaved a sigh of relief when she saw that nothing had happened to Pei Yuqing. She shifted her focus to the Aurora team. Currently, the development of the Aurora team wasn't looking good. Not many professional racers were willing to join a small team that had just been established. Mo Shuyun was the only one who had managed to convince a few racers to join him. Other than going to the company, Lin Yin would visit her grandfather at the hospital from time to time. Her grandfather hadn't woken up yet, but he wasn't in any danger either. Things were looking good. Sister, go back and rest. I'll take care of grandfather. In the ward, He Lufeng glanced at Lin Yin, who was sitting by the bed. Lin Yin glanced at He Lufeng. What do you mean? He Lufeng chuckled awkwardly. Sister, it was just an accident. Do you really think that I'm not filial? Before Lin Yin could continue, her phone rang. Lin Yin whipped out her phone and saw that it was her mother, He Muyun. Lin Yin answered the call immediately. Xiaoyan, are you free? He Muyun's voice came through the phone. Mom, I'm free. What happened? Asked Lin Yin softly. Nothing much. If you have time, come home for dinner, replied He Muyun gently. Lin Yin suddenly recalled that she hadn't been home for a long time. Okay, I'll head over now. After Lin Yin hung up, she glanced at He Lufeng and said, Look after grandfather. I have something to attend to. I have to go. He Lufeng nodded eagerly. Sister, go ahead. I'll take care of grandfather. Don't worry. Lin Yin was speechless. It was precisely because he was watching that she couldn't be at ease. Okay. After leaving the hospital, Lin Yin drove back to He Muyun's place. He Muyun stood at the door wearing an apron. She grinned at Lin Yin. Xiaoyan, I don't need anything. Why did you buy so many things when you're going home? He Muyun asked when she saw the shopping bags in Lin Yan's hands. I was passing by a mall and saw a few coats that suit you. Lin Yin chuckled softly as she followed He Muyun into the house. Lin Yin knew her mother very well. She was a thrifty person, so He Muyun would never buy anything that wasn't necessary. Hence, Lin Yin bought it when she saw a suitable one. Lin Yin had just placed her things down when the aroma of food assaulted her nostrils. Mom, what did you cook? Lin Yin grinned at He Muyun. They're all your favorites, He Muyun said. Aunt Yun, are you done yet? I'm starving to death. Before Lin Yin could respond, the man's voice rang out. Instinctively, Lin Yin surveyed her surroundings. A few seconds later, Lin Yin finally saw the man sitting on the couch. Wang Jingyang was lying on the sofa playing with his phone. Chapter 953. Wang Jingyang? Lin Yin was startled when she saw Wang Jingyang. What is it? Wang Jingyang was still staring at his phone. Why are you here? Lin Yin was puzzled. Can't I come here to freeload? Replied Wang Jingyang. Lin Yin was speechless. Mom, why is Wang Jingyang here? Lin Yin walked to the kitchen and asked He Muyun. I went out to buy groceries today and bumped into Jingyang. He hasn't eaten yet, so I invited him over for dinner, replied He Muyun. Lin Yin sighed when she heard that. Wang Jingyang had come all the way here to freeload. Lin Yin returned to the living room and walked to the couch. She kicked Wang Jingyang's legs aside and sat down beside him. The couch is so small. Why are you squeezing into it? Wang Jingyang protested as he glanced at Lin Yin. Can you please put on your stinky feet? Lin Yin quipped. Stinky feet? Wang Jingyang frowned. My feet smell so good that I can even eat them. Lin Yin rolled her eyes at Wang Jingyang. Tell me, why are you here? I have a strong motive. I'm hungry, but I'm too lazy to cook, so I'm here to freeload, replied Wang Jingyang casually. You're really shameless. Lin Yin looked helpless. Can't you find a girlfriend who freeloads every day? Girlfriend? Wang Jingyang glanced at Lin Yin and grinned. I'm all alone. I'm destined to be a lonely star. How can I find a girlfriend? Can't find one? Lin Yin grabbed Wang Jingyang's chin and turned him to face her. She scrutinized him carefully. Lin Yin, what are you doing? Wang Jingyang bellowed. Don't move. Let me take a look, replied Lin Yin. Damn you. Do you think you're visiting a brothel? The corners of Wang Jingyang's mouth twitched. TSK TSK TSK. Lin Yin couldn't help but sigh as she studied Wang Jingyang's face. If you don't talk, you'll be a top hunk? Really? What if I talk? Asked Wang Jingyang curiously. Talk. Lin Yin couldn't help but sigh. Your foolishness will make people forget about your face. If you speak, you're a fool. If you don't, you're a prince. Because of Wang Jingyang's silly aura, Lin Yin had neglected his face. It was a pity that she had given him this face. Coupled with his personality, it was a waste of a gift. Alright, from today onwards I will be an emotionless killer. Wang Jingyang gazed at her expressionlessly. As long as I don't speak, I'm a cold-blooded boy. Look at me again and see if I'm melancholic. Lin Yin was speechless. It was hopeless. Hey Lin Yin. Based on my looks, if I were to enter the entertainment industry, do you think I would be popular? Wang Jingyang asked curiously before Lin Yin could reply. Lin Yin contemplated this for a moment before replying. If he's more composed, it might be possible. Hurry up and find a girlfriend. Don't waste your face. Lin Yin sighed. Didn't I tell you that I'm a loner? Whoever ends up with me won't have a good ending. Why do you have to harm others? Wang Jingyang grinned. Have you watched too many movies? Lin Yin glanced at Wang Jingyang. Lin Yin, why do you care so much about whether I find a girlfriend or not? Are you coveting my good looks? Tell me, are you coveting my good looks? Wang Jingyang frowned. Chapter 954. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched when she heard Wang Jingyang. She had to admit that Wang Jingyang had a vivid imagination. I'm not just interested in your beauty. I'm also after your money, replied Lin Yin. On account of our years of brotherhood, why don't I give in to you? Anyway, tigresses have a tough life. I'm a lone star and you're a tigress with a tough life. We're a perfect match. What do you think? Wang Jingyang suddenly sat up and undid one of the buttons on his shirt. She had to admit that if Wang Jingyang hadn't said anything, he wouldn't have been so shameless. This scene could indeed mesmerize thousands of girls. It was indeed tempting. A second later, Wang Jingyang's wails echoed in the room. Lin Yin, damn you. You're indeed a tigress. Hey, don't pull my ear. Who are you calling a tigress? Doggy, you've grown up. Lin Yin sneered coldly. The grass on the grave of the last person who called me a tigress was more than a meter tall. I'm sorry? I'm a tigress? Wang Jingyang begged for mercy. Lin Yin only released Wang Jingyang when he begged for mercy. Lin Yin, I'm such a handsome man, yet you're not tempted. Do you dislike men? If you don't like men, just tell me. I'll change my personality. It's such a big deal. Wang Jingyang rubbed his ear. Doggy, don't tell me you really like me. I told you that I have a boyfriend. Lin Yan grinned. Ha ha ha. Wang Jingyang suddenly chuckled as his eyes darkened. To you, I'm just a witness. I don't have any romantic feelings for you. We're just friends. Lin Yan and Wang Jingyang's eyes met. For some reason, Lin Yan felt that Wang Jingyang seemed different now, be it in the way he spoke or the way he looked at her. Before Wang Jingyang could finish, Lin Yan grabbed him by the ear. F***ck. Lin Yan. What's wrong with you? Wang Jingyang exclaimed in shock. Why are you pretending to be so profound? Lin Yan sneered coldly. Wang Jingyang, who's pretending to be profound? I'm being serious. Let me tell you, Lin Yan, do you really think that I'm interested in you? Even if you strip naked in front of me, I won't be interested. Wang Jingyang gritted his teeth. Doggy, are you itching for a beating? Lin Yan sneered coldly. Let me tell you, Lin Yan. My feelings for you can only be described in a poem, Wang Jingyang said. My lover rode a bamboo horse and circled the bed with green plums. Living together for a long time, there's no grudge between the two. Who's your childhood sweetheart? Who's your childhood friend? How dare you say that you have no ulterior motives? Find out what this poem means, replied Lin Yan. Fine. I'm afraid of you. I'll be like a stranger to you then. I'll stay away from you, all right? Wang Jingyang said. Before Lin Yan could respond, He Muyun walked out of the kitchen with the dishes. Annie Yun, look. You saw Chang Wei hitting Lai Fu the moment you came out. Wang Jingyang hurriedly told He Muyun. He Muyun's eyes trailed to Lin Yan as she frowned. Xiaoyan, why are you bullying Jingyang again? Mom, did I bully him? Lin Yan was fuming with rage. Clearly it was this Lai Fu who acted like a hooligan first. His mouth was full of vicious words, and he even said that he wanted her to strip naked to see if he was interested. Look, was this something a human would say? Chapter 955. Aunt Yun, your daughter coveted my beauty. She hit me when I objected. Wang Jingyang snorted. Before Lin Yan could speak, He Muyun frowned and said, Xiaoyan, don't bully Jingyang. Lin Yan was speechless. She had no choice but to let go of him. Pop, just you wait. Wait and see how I teach you a lesson when we leave this house. Lin Yan whispered softly into Wang Jingyang's ear. Xiaoyan, what are you whispering about? Asked He Muyun. Mom, nothing. I'm just apologizing to Wang Jingyang. Lin Yan grinned. Aunt Yun, your daughter said that she will continue to beat me up when I leave this house, replied Wang Jingyang. Lin Yan was speechless. Xiaoyan, stop fooling around. Let's eat, said He Muyun. Okay. Lin Yan nodded. Halfway through the meal, He Muyun asked Lin Yan, Xiaoyan, how have you been recently? Instinctively, Lin Yan replied, Mom, don't worry about me. I'm fine. The team is doing fine too. Yes. Apart from work? He Muyun asked with a hidden meaning. Except for work? Lin Yan was startled, as she didn't understand what He Muyun was trying to say. Xiaoyan, did you offend anyone recently? Did anything happen? He Muyun asked after some time. Lin Yan's expression changed when she heard He Muyun. Many things had happened recently, but how could her mom know? Lin Yan instantly thought that it could be He Lufeng. Mom, don't listen to Xiaofeng. Nothing happened, explained Lin Yan. It has nothing to do with Xiaofeng. He didn't say anything, replied He Muyun. It wasn't Xiaofeng? Lin Yan was puzzled. If it wasn't He Lufeng, who else could it be? Wang Jingyang remained silent as he stared at Lin Yan. Recently, Wang Jingyang had been feeling very strange. He had been hiding with Lin Yan all these years and nothing had happened. However, a few days ago, the thing that he had been most worried about had happened. Wang Jingyang suspected that someone had leaked Lin Yan's identity. There were two people who knew Lin Yan's identity. One was him and the other was He Muyun. Wang Jingyang had suspected He Muyun, but after his investigation, this matter shouldn't have anything to do with He Muyun. However, if it had nothing to do with He Muyun, there might be a third person who knew. He had asked Lin Yan to come today because he wanted He Muyun to probe Lin Yan. Perhaps she could find some clues. However, after searching for a while, there was still no useful information. Wang Jingyang suspected everyone around Lin Yan, including Pei Yuqing. No matter who it was, if he touched his bottom line, Lin Yan, you mentioned that you have a boyfriend. Is that true? Does he like you? Is he plotting something? You have to be careful. A moment later, Wang Jingyang chuckled. Lin Yan glanced at Wang Jingyang. Of course I have a motive. Can't I covet my beauty? Wang Jingyang fell into silence. Pei Yuqing was very dangerous. If he got rid of him, would Lin Yan be sad? Would she blame him? However, if he didn't do anything, this ticking time bomb could explode at any time. When that time came, no one would be able to stay out of it. Pei Yuqing's existence was the biggest obstacle to Lin Yan's survival. He had tried his best to stop the two of them from meeting each other. However, he had never expected that they would be entangled again and again. Chapter 956. Wang Jingyang glanced at Lin Yan from time to time. The current her should be considered happy. If she could continue to be happy like this, he could stay by her side. Unfortunately, for ordinary people, the easiest and simplest wish was an extravagant hope for him and her. Dog-eat. Why are you staring at me? Lin Yan was puzzled when she saw that Wang Jingyang was sizing her up from time to time. Wang Jingyang chuckled softly. Don't eat too much. What if you get fat? I'm happy if I get fat. It's none of your business. Lin Yan glanced at Wang Jingyang. Then Wang Jingyang fell silent. Such a simple life, and the smile that could be seen on her face would probably become increasingly rare in the future. In the past, he could protect her for many years without any worries. However, Wang Jingyang couldn't be sure what would happen in the future. His whereabouts should have been discovered by now. From the bar woman who had a high-level evolved being to the evolved beings last night, Wang Jingyang knew very well that their target was Lin Yan. However, only He Muyun and him knew Lin Yan's identity. Wang Jingyang couldn't be sure if Pei Yuqing had recognized Lin Yan or if he had seen through her identity. If he had, the consequences would be dire. A ticking time bomb like this could explode at any time. Lin Yan, I have a question for you. Wang Jingyang suddenly glanced at Lin Yan and spoke. Spit it out, replied Lin Yan. Do you like your current boyfriend a lot? Or do you love him a lot? Do you care about him a lot? Wang Jingyang asked after a moment of silence. Lin Yan frowned when she heard Wang Jingyang. She studied Wang Jingyang curiously. Pup, what are you trying to say? Wang Jingyang studied Lin Yan quietly, feeling conflicted. Actually, he was to blame for everything. He should have tried his best to stop Lin Yan and Pei Yuqing's relationship when they had been overseas. However, Wang Jingyang hadn't expected Lin Yan and Pei Yuqing to get along so quickly. Fortunately, although Lin Yan and Pei Yuqing had been together for a long time, they had eventually broken up because of their personalities. Wang Jingyang knew that Lin Yan wouldn't be able to tolerate his possessiveness and suspicion. He had assumed that everything would come to an end after Lin Yan had completely forgotten about him. Who would have thought that Lin Yan would have forgotten about Pei Yuqing? In the end, the two of them would end up together again. This time, it was even more ridiculous. Pei Yuqing seemed to have changed a lot for Lin Yan. No matter what, Lin Yan couldn't be with him. Wang Jingyang was only worried about Lin Yan's safety. Lin Yan, what exactly do you like about him? Why don't you tell me? Who knows, you might discover that I have everything he has. Wang Jingyang grinned at Lin Yan. Lin Yan glanced at Wang Jingyang. I like him because he's handsome and rich. What about you? Wang Jingyang was taken aback when he heard Lin Yan. That's it? Isn't that enough? Lin Yan was more confused than Wang Jingyang. I have everything. Look at how handsome I am. Wang Jingyang laughed. Lin Yan was speechless. She couldn't refute him. Money? Wang Jingyang stroked his chin and fell into deep thought. All these years he hadn't had much money. Chapter 957. Wang Jingyang, are you alright? What are you trying to say? Lin Yan noticed that Wang Jingyang was behaving strangely today. I'm asking you about him and I? Forget it. Wang Jingyang shook his head. I'm just joking with you. If your boyfriend treats you badly or bullies you, tell me. I will break his legs to vent your anger. I'm just afraid that your legs will be broken before I can vent my anger. Lin Yan glanced at Wang Jingyang helplessly. Wang Jingyang was speechless. After she had her fill, Lin Yan left He Muyun's place and rushed back to the office. For some reason, Lin Yan felt that something was amiss during this meal. Her mother, He Muyun, and Wang Jingyang had asked her so many questions that she couldn't make head or tail of them. Lin Yan was puzzled for a moment, but she didn't think too much about it. Late at night, the bustling night had come to an end and everything was peaceful again. Wang Jingyang stood by the side, his body hidden in a loose black robe. His face couldn't be seen clearly because it was late at night. Sir. After a long time, another man appeared. He walked to Wang Jingyang's side and cupped his fists. At this moment, Wang Jingyang slowly opened his eyes and looked at the man in front of him with a smile that didn't seem like a smile. Sir, why did you summon me so late at night? Is there something urgent? The man lowered his head. Qin Huan. Wang Jingyang studied the man before him and asked, has Pei Yuqing been acting strangely lately? Brother Yu. Pei Yuqing went to the Pei family's headquarters. Before that, Pei Yuqing's cousin, Pei Zhe, came and went to the Pei family's headquarters with Pei Zhe, Qin Huan recalled. Other than that, Wang Jingyang replied. Other than that? Qin Huan frowned. Sir, there doesn't seem to be any other unusual movements. Qin Huan. The corners of Wang Jingyang's mouth curled up. How long have I allowed you to follow Pei Yuqing? Many years, replied Qin Huan. What do you think of Pei Yuqing then? Asked Wang Jingyang. Pei Yuqing. This person. At this point, Qin Huan was slightly taken aback. He did not dare to continue speaking because he did not know which sentence from this man would contain killing intent. Qin Huan, I've been targeted by my enemies for a long time. I'm afraid there won't be a day of peace here. You will only lose your life if you follow me. Since you think that Pei Yuqing is a good person, we will have nothing to do with each other in the future. Just follow Pei Yuqing wholeheartedly. Wang Jingyang glanced at Qin Huan and sighed heavily. However, as soon as Wang Jingyang finished speaking, Qin Huan instantly knelt by Wang Jingyang's feet with a thud. Sir, what do you mean by that? Did I do something wrong? Qin Huan's forehead was covered in cold sweat. Qin Huan, you don't have to be like this. You and I are master and servant. No matter what, our relationship still exists. What I have said today is from the bottom of my heart. Wang Jingyang smiled bitterly. Qin Huan narrowed his eyes and sized up Wang Jingyang without batting an eyelid. Unfortunately, Wang Jingyang was wrapped in a loose black robe, so only a pair of eyes could be seen. Wang Jingyang's eyes were calm, and it was impossible to read any information from his eyes. However, at least one thing was certain. Qin Huan believed that Wang Jingyang was in trouble. Perhaps what he had said today was true. Chapter 958. Sir, if you need anything, I, Qin Huan, am willing to risk my life for you. I don't know who your enemy is, but just give me the order and I'll be ready to die. Qin Huan said solemnly. However, before Qin Huan could say anything, Wang Jingyang's expression changed and he looked around. At that moment, Qin Huan's expression changed as well. What a strong mental oppression. Qin Huan looked around cautiously. It's my enemy, Wang Jingyang said. Instantly, Wang Jingyang was astonished. His enemy was so powerful? What kind of spiritual evolved human was that? Sir, you go first. Qin Huan stood up immediately and said to Wang Jingyang. What a joke. You think you can hide behind me? Wang Jingyang looked at Qin Huan and sneered. Before Qin Huan could speak, the ground shook as if a natural disaster was coming. In the next second, the place where Wang Jingyang was standing collapsed. Qin Huan saw that Wang Jingyang's legs were gripped tightly by a pair of pale, giant palms. No matter how hard Wang Jingyang tried, he could not escape from the giant palms. Almost instinctively, Qin Huan sucked in a cold breath. He looked at the monster hidden deep underground in disbelief. What kind of monster is this? Qin Huan's expression changed suddenly. Even though Qin Huan was an evolved human, he had never seen such a strange monster. Mutated evolved human? Wang Jingyang gritted his teeth. Qin Huan panicked. How could he think about mutated evolved human? All he could think about was what he should do. Qin Huan. Save me. In the next second, Qin Huan, whose face had turned pale, heard the sound of bones breaking. Wang Jingyang's legs had actually been broken by the monster underground. Sir? Qin Huan's eyes turned red. He took out a dagger from his waist and leaped to Wang Jingyang's side. He stabbed the dagger at the pair of giant palms. However, Qin Huan's stab caused the surrounding scenery to shatter like a mirror that had fallen from the sky. Everything was like a dream. When Qin Huan came back to his senses, he looked around. Wang Jingyang stood in the distance, unharmed. The ground did not collapse and the so-called monster was nowhere to be seen. This? Qin Huan's face was filled with shock as he subconsciously looked around. What happened just now? It's an illusion. Wang Jingyang said after a long while. Illusion? Qin Huan was slightly taken aback. Qin Huan, if that dagger of yours helps me, this illusion will disappear. However, if that dagger of yours stabs me. The corners of Wang Jingyang's lips curled up slightly. In reality, you will use that dagger to stab your neck? Sir, you doubt me? You don't believe me? Wang Jingyang stared at Wang Jingyang dumbfounded. Wang Jingyang chuckled and shook his head. I've never trusted anyone. Yes, sir. Qin Huan put away his dagger and nodded. I want you to kill Pei Yuqing, Wang Jingyang said after some time. Qin Huan shuddered at Wang Jingyang's words. What? You can't bear to part with me? Wang Jingyang asked. No. Sir, it's not that I don't want to. It's just that, given my abilities, assassinating Brother Yu, Pei Yuqing would be akin to committing suicide. I don't mind dying, but Pei Yuqing is a suspicious person. I'm afraid that he will investigate you, sir, Qin Huan said hastily. End of this chapter. Chapter 959. Wang Jingyang's mission was simply impossible for him. Others might not know, but he knew very well how terrifying Pei Yu was. Wouldn't he be asking an ant to devour a tiger if he were to kill Pei Yu? You're telling the truth. In that case, leave Pei Yu to me. You can deal with the tale you brought. As soon as Wang Jingyang finished speaking, his smiling eyes landed on a spot not far away from him. The tale? Qin Huan broke out in cold sweat and immediately looked in the direction of Wang Jingyang's gaze. What are you waiting for? Wang Jingyang hissed. Swoosh. Almost instantly, Qin Huan disappeared from where he stood and reappeared more than 10 meters away. Stay here? In the darkness, Qin Huan heard a voice and immediately fled. He immediately blocked it and struck out with his palm. The figure flashed and dodged Qin Huan's attack. At this moment, Qin Huan finally saw the face of this tail. Xing Chen. What's wrong with you? Qin Huan was shocked when he saw that Xing Chen was following him. Qin Huan? Xing Chen glared at Qin Huan coldly. How dare you betray Brother Yu? That night, Xing Chen had come looking for Qin Huan to discuss some matters. However, when he saw that Qin Huan was acting suspiciously, he decided to follow Qin Huan. Xing Chen had not expected to see such a scene. He found it even more difficult to believe that his brother, who had been with him through life and death, had become a traitor. Stop talking. Qin Huan shot Xing Chen a look and opened his mouth. Although he didn't say anything, Xing Chen could read Qin Huan's intention. He wanted him to escape. Cut the crap. Qin Huan, you and I are brothers. I won't pursue this matter with you today. Let's work together to capture the person behind you and hand him over to Brother Yu. I will help you keep your secret. If you don't agree, we will be enemies, Xing Chen said coldly. Idiot. Qin Huan was panicking. Was Xing Chen out of his mind? Capture Wang Jingyang? What kind of joke was that? Who did he think he was? Kid, are you going to capture me? Wang Jingyang, who was hidden in his black robe, had arrived. I don't care who you are. You won't have a good ending for plotting against Brother Yu. Xing Chen glared at Wang Jingyang. Oh? The corners of Wang Jingyang's mouth rose slightly. Then what are you waiting for? However, Xing Chen's expression grew increasingly solemn. The man in front of her, whom she couldn't see his face clearly, didn't seem to be that simple. Immediately, Xing Chen took out the evolved person identification device that looked like a phone. F-class? Xing Chen narrowed his eyes as he looked at the number on the device. This man was only an F-class evolved human? He is just an F-class evolutionary. Even if you join hands with Qin Huan, you have no chance of winning. Xing Chen was relieved. Qin Huan, your friend wants to kill me. Hurry up and deal with him, Wang Jingyang said expressionlessly. Qin Huan, I hope that you will repent and not repeat your mistakes. Brother Yu has been good to us. Xing Chen glanced at Qin Huan. Qin Huan was silent for a moment when he heard this. He immediately walked forward and blocked Wang Jingyang's side. Wang Jingyang, forgive me for not being able to comply. My life was given by this lord. Without him there would not be a Qin Huan. You and I should each serve our respective masters. Qin Huan, you know that you are no match for me. Don't court death. Xing Chen hissed coldly. Xing Chen, cut the crap. If you kill me today, I won't blame you for being inferior. Do it. Qin Huan whipped out a dagger. Chapter 960. All right, you said it yourself? Xing Chen hissed. Qin Huan, don't blame me for being so stubborn. Meanwhile at Cloud Manor, Sister Yen, Lin Yen, who was stroking the cat, was startled by Ling Yu. Ling Yu? Lin Yen frowned at the panting Ling Yu. What's wrong? Calm down. Sister Yen. Xing Chen. Ling Yu's eyes reddened. Lin Yen was dumbfounded. Before Lin Yen could respond, Ling Yu passed the phone to her. It was a video that Xing Chen had sent her. In the video, Qin Huan was talking to a man in a black robe. The scene changed. Qin Huan asked, Xing Chen, you? How did this happen? Xing Chen replied, Qin Huan, how dare you betray brother Yu? At this point, the video had already ended. What happened? Lin Yin was shocked. Xing Chen found out that Qin Huan betrayed brother Yu, so he sent me this video. Something serious must have happened. Sister Yin, I'm afraid that Xing Chen won't be able to come back. Lin Yu replied. Is Qin Huan a match for Xing Chen? Lin Yin asked with a frown. I don't think so. Ling Yu shook her head. However, we can't be sure of the black-robed man's identity or what rank he is. 2 against 1, Xing Chen will definitely be in trouble. Sister Yin, please get brother Yu back. I'm afraid it'll be too late. Ling Yu's eyes were misty. *CK. Lin Yin gritted her teeth. Why are you still shouting? He's at the Pei family's headquarters. Even if he flies back, it'll be too late. What should we do then? Ling Yu panicked. I'm familiar with this place. Lin Yin fell into deep thought. Although Lin Yin didn't know what had happened, she was certain of one thing. Xing Chen must have met with some kind of danger. Lin Yin dialed a number. Speak. Xiao Yao's voice rang out. Boss, this is an emergency. A life is at stake. Lin Yin replied. Boom. A deafening sound broke the silence of the night. Qin Huan was sent flying by Xing Chen's punch. Qin Huan, I've said it before. You're no match for me. Xing Chen glanced at Qin Huan. Qin Huan's face was pale as he clutched his chest. Xing Chen's gaze landed on Wang Jingyang's side. Now, do you want to come with me or do you want me to break your limbs and take you with me? Wang Jingyang stared at Xing Chen and smiled. Oh, little guy, you're pretty strong. Little fellow? The corner of Xing Chen's mouth twitched slightly, and his gaze instantly turned cold. You're courting death. Qin Huan's expression changed drastically when he saw Xing Chen attacking Wang Jingyang. Don't. Xing Chen, stop right now. You will die. As Xing Chen punched out, Wang Jingyang stood in the garden, not moving a single step. Seeing this, a look of disdain appeared in Xing Chen's eyes. He was just an F-class evolutionary. How could he avoid his attack? He was very curious as to why Qin Huan was with such a person and what was he plotting with an F-class evolutionary. However, all of this was no longer important. He would try to persuade Qin Huan, but brother Yu would deal with this man personally. Xing Chen's punch was extremely powerful, and the sound of wind breaking could be heard incessantly. Xing Chen was confident that the man in front of him would only be half dead. Chapter 961. Xing Chen. Not far away, Qin Huan was furious. He had underestimated his opponent. He had underestimated Wang Jingyang. That man, how could he possibly deal with him? He was courting death. He would die. At that moment, Xing Chen's fist force was unstoppable. It headed straight for Wang Jingyang. The terrifying physical strength of an evolved being swept in all directions. The gravel on the ground floated in the air. Bang. However, at the last second before Wang Jingyang was hit, Wang Jingyang took a step back and seemed to have dodged Xing Chen's attack with great difficulty. Seeing that his attack had missed, Xing Chen frowned. You're quite lucky. Xing Chen looked at Wang Jingyang and said expressionlessly. Yes, it's all right. Yesterday I played mahjong and got 2 kings and 4 twos and fight the landlord. Wang Jingyang smiled. Oh, it seems like your luck is about to run out. Xing Chen's voice became colder. However, from your tone and expression, it seems like you don't care about me. Wang Jingyang smiled. I just don't care about your size. You really won't shed a tear until you see your coffin. I'll let you see just how big the gap between evolvers is. Xing Chen's eyes glinted coldly. A mere F-class evolved being dared to look down on his size. In an instant, Xing Chen's aura was like a raging blizzard, and also like raging waves. In the darkness of the night, it was as if his body had been stained with a trace of moonlight. Sensing Xing Chen's full power, Qin Huan, who was not far away, also felt a great deal of pressure. Xing Chen had evolved again. Moreover, he had not used his full power when fighting him just now. Feel despair and then die. Xing Chen roared furiously and immediately swung his palm towards Wang Jingyang. Not bad. But is this despair? Wang Jingyang's lips curled up slightly. Seems like you've never felt true despair. As Wang Jingyang's voice fell, a terrifying genetic aura spread from Wang Jingyang's body. It was like the pressure at the bottom of the endless sea, sweeping in all directions. The moment Xing Chen sensed this aura, he froze on the spot. From his limbs to his bones, it was as if they were trembling. In 2 breaths' time, Xing Chen's entire body was drenched in cold sweat. Monster. At this moment Xing Chen's heart was beating wildly, and he subconsciously wanted to run away. However, his body was unable to move due to boundless fear. I will die. Run, run. Run for your lives. Xing Chen's entire body was trembling, but no matter how hard he tried he was unable to move. Wang Jingyang stood in the garden, not moving even half a step. The cold smile on his face was like that of a venomous snake, frightening to the soul. The man in the loose black robe was like a living god of death. As long as he was willing, his life could be taken away at any time. In the nick of time, Xing Chen used all his strength to take out the dagger and stabbed it into the back of his hand. Immense pain assaulted him, and only then did Xing Chen regain a shred of reason and expel the unbearable fear. Run? Xing Chen was about to flee. However, Wang Jingyang was even faster. In the next second, Wang Jingyang grabbed Xing Chen by the neck and lifted him into the air. Little guy, have you felt despair? Wang Jingyang's eyes were cold. End of this chapter. Chapter 962. Xing Chen's face was red and he couldn't breathe. Bang. Xing Chen didn't know where he got the courage to punch Wang Jingyang in the face. To Xing Chen's disbelief, Wang Jingyang wasn't hurt at all. He merely furrowed his eyebrows. In the next second, Xing Chen let out a miserable howl that made people feel uneasy. His right hand had been broken by Wang Jingyang. Xing Chen's pale face had turned ghastly pale. Xing Chen? Qin Huan gritted his teeth. He wanted to save Xing Chen, but he didn't have the courage to do so. That man wasn't Pei Yuqing. He wasn't kind at all. He was an Azura who walked the mortal world from head to toe, a self-centered, arrogant demon. Human life wasn't worth mentioning at all. There was no doubt in Qin Huan's mind that if he tried to save Xing Chen right now, not only Xing Chen but even he would be killed. Ah! Up ahead, Xing Chen's miserable screams continued to ring out. Sir? Qin Huan suppressed the fear in his heart as he forced himself to stand up and walk toward Wang Jingyang. What's the matter? Wang Jingyang glanced at Qin Huan who was walking over slowly. Sir, can you let him live? I promise that he won't tell anyone about what happened today. Qin Huan said. You promise? Wang Jingyang glanced at Qin Huan. So you're pleading for him? Sir. Qin Huan inhaled deeply, but his heart was beating faster and faster. Qin Huan. Don't care about me? Xing Chen looked at Qin Huan with difficulty. Qin Huan was speechless. Qin Huan. You are in cahoots with the abyss. In the end, you will be devoured by the abyss. Xing Chen continued. Kid, you're so talkative. Wang Jingyang chuckled softly as he flipped his right palm and threw Xing Chen at his feet. A loud bang was heard. The ground beneath Xing Chen's feet shattered as he fell into the pit. Xing Chen spat out a mouthful of blood. Qin Huan wanted to say something but he didn't dare to. Qin Huan's body trembled as he looked at Xing Chen, who could be killed at any moment. He didn't know what to do. At this moment, Wang Jingyang squatted down and pinched Xing Chen's head with one hand. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly. Let's end this unfair game. Sinking star. Suddenly, Ling Yu rushed out from the darkness. Lin Yin was extremely anxious. She had never imagined that the man in the black robe would be so terrifying. Ling Yu rushed over and saw this scene. What Tom, Dick and Harry? Compared to this man they were practically millions of light years. Initially he wanted to pull Ling Yu back but he failed to do so. This time he was probably done for. Lin Yin scanned her surroundings. Why wasn't Xiao Yao here yet? Bastard. How dare you treat Xing Chen like this? Ling Yu's eyes were already red. She raised her hand and slashed at Wang Jingyang. Bang. Wang Jingyang waved his hand. In the next second Ling Yu's pupils suddenly contracted. It was as if her body had suddenly crashed into a train that was moving at full speed. Wow! You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.